Hello.
Hey, Bubba.
Is this Stuttering John?
This is the Stuttering John Melendez.
3 minutes late, Stuttering John. You're not even a real radio guy for 3 minutes. Yeah, you're a TV guy. That's why you did it.
I play a little drums.
Because you TV guys, look, you're not even a radio guy anymore. You're a TV guy now, aren't you?
Yeah, because usually you start like 5 minutes after the hour,
Yeah, oh, you mean TV?
Yeah. Like the Tonight Show was 11:35, so you always give that 5 minutes.
Oh, that's right. You're like, you never really have. Were they strict on? Well, they got to be as strict on network TV time wise than you even on radio, right?
Oh, hell yeah! Like we had to get our last jokes in by because we taped at 4. We had to get them all in by 3:55. All everyday jokes, cold opens, whatever. If we didn't get it in, not on the show that night.
Stuttering John on the phone, and Stuttering John. It's the first time I've never talked to you. I've never met you. Our worlds kind of have crossed a little bit in the fact that I was in the Howard world for a little bit, but well after you had already gone.
Well, Bubba, I'm shocked that you don't remember conducting it. We have talked before. You interviewed me after I went on Adam Carolla and bashed Howard, and Howard went ballistic on me, and then you were nice enough to have me on your show to calm the air. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. Are you for real?
Yes, I was in my bunker at the Tonight Show. I did it from the couch, next to my bathroom that had my full shower at the Tonight Show. The accommodations on TV, Bubba, are way better than the accommodations on radio. But I will tell you that you and I talked for an hour. You were very polite, very nice, and very kind.
Now, was I on Sirius? Was I on Howard's channel then?
Yeah, I think Howard gave you permission or whatever to interview me, and you and I spoke for an hour. I feel so depressed.
Well, I've done a lot of pills since then, so Are you, John? Are you being for real? Did I really interviewed you? Seriously?
I swear on my life, you and I talked for an hour on your show. I want to say, let's see, right around the time my movie came out. So about 2006, maybe 2005.
Yeah, probably 2000. Now, was it part of the Howard 100 News deal? Because before we started in 06, Lisa, whatever the girl's, Lisa G, or Liz or somebody like that was in charge of the Howard 100 News, and they had me come up, and I had to go to High Pitch Eric's apartment and do a thing there, and then somebody said, I think Howard might have said, "Hey man, Bubba's a host. Like, why we got him going to High Pitch Eric's cat piss apartment? Like, you guys don't need to have him do it." So Howard actually stuck up for me in that case.
Well, in that case, but when I tell you some stuff about Howard and you, I think you're not going to be so positive about Howard Stern.
Well, hold on, about me?
Yeah.
Well, now hold on. But if it's before I worked for him, well, then I know, of course, he hated my guts because we were, when you worked for him and I was in Connecticut going against him. Oh, we probably said some horrible stuff about each other.
I wish it was then. I don't know. Do you want me to tell you or no?
Yeah. Well, of course.
All right. Okay.
By the way, Stuttering John on the phone, and you've kind of thrown me a little bit of a curveball, John.
Well, that's what your good radio people do.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead. Now you claim that what happened.
Okay. You ready? This is from one of my moles, Frank. Don't show my computer screen. Who happened to be working at the Stern Show when you were there. So here we go.
Right.
This is verbatim. Also, I was there during the Bubba years. After Bubba was kicked off Sirius, every single time he would call in and ask when will he get back on the air, Howard would always string him along saying things like, "We have to talk to Don." What Bubba doesn't know is that every single fucking time in between commercial breaks and in meetings, whenever his name will come up, Howard and Gary will comment on how stupid and pathetic he was, that he couldn't get into his skull, that he would never be back on the air. I was fucking there to hear it for years, every day, and it still goes on. I know that for a fact.
That's great. I mean, I suspected that, but, well, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I'm going to keep trying, but I suspected that, but I'm still not going to get mad at Howard. I think my problems are with Greenstein, not necessarily Howard. I don't know. Maybe I'm just as dumb, as stupid as they say I am.
No, Bubba, first of all, I wasn't trying to read that to you to piss you off, although I know it might, but it's just because my moles are very, very good and they work there for years, and they're the ones who gave me the picture. I don't know if you've seen the picture in my best-selling book of Howard at the Getting Things Done seminar.
No, I've not seen it.
Did you have the chance to watch the video?
No, I did not.
Oh, Bubba, it is really embarrassing. Howard takes credit for the careers of Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh no, hold on. I saw that video. Yeah, that where he was like having a staff meeting, and he's kind of giving a rah-rah speech about we need to get our shit together a little bit more and things like that.
Yeah, but then he's saying how Billy Corgan and Adam Levine were off the map if it wasn't for him.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm certainly not trying to stick up for Howard in any case, but I think I think Howard did put a lot of people on the map, and listen, you have to have that kind of swagger, and you know what? More importantly, John, like I just had a personnel problem today on my show, and I'm not going to really get into it too much, but it's touch and go as to whether this works out or not, but. And I probably infuse myself into personnel matters more than Howard does because I know Howard's kind of insulated with a bunch of people and he's far more important to me. But dealing with people and being the boss sometimes really sucks. And it seems like everybody's always out to sabotage him because he's such a huge star. Now, I know that and when you're that big of a star, then anything you do is magnified a millionfold. Don't you kind of agree?
No. And I'll tell you why, Bubba, because I worked with Jay Leno for 10 years, and even let's see, less than a month ago, I was at Jay Leno's garage, hanging out with Jay in his kitchen, talking about a lot of things. And Jay Leno is, in my mind, a bigger star than Howard. And Jay Leno couldn't be more gracious and a better boss, and very, very accessible to all the people on his staff, all 150 to 200 people on his staff. So for Howard to walk down a hallway and not allow his staff members to approach him is beyond human.
Well, but listen, and I somewhat agree, but I mean Jay and Howard are completely different people, and Howard does things one way. And Jay's a very gracious person, although Howard's got a ton of is Howard still mad at Jay?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but see, like, Bob, look, and look, I think you're a good dude. I read your whole bio, and, I didn't know that you were a high school football coach. So
yeah, a little bit.
I mean, yeah, and I know how you got your nickname because you're, because all the chicks dig you, which I love.
Well, that was.
But I think you're a good dude, and maybe I'm wrong because you've been a big star on radio for a long time, but I think that, and just correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe there's people who have worked for you that'll tell me that I'm wrong, but I don't think that you would be that horrible to your staff that Howard has been to his staff.
Well, I think Howard is different. I think Howard is, got all kinds of hang-ups and what have you, and that's kind of what makes Howard Howard. And I think that Howard probably doesn't act the same way Jay Leno does. And by the way, I'm not, when you say big-time radio star, maybe within radio I've done okay, but I'm not near on the level of Howard or Jay. I mean, I'm like, I'm Stuttering John intern compared to where you are now. Well, that's why I love your story, because you, just like me, started out as an intern, and then you got your own show, and that's that's inspiring, and I think that's great. And I'm sorry for I know you have questions for me, so I'm sorry if but listen, last Wednesday I had Opie on, and Opie from Opie and Anthony, and we've been long time. We hated each other, and and not necessarily even knowing why we're supposed to hate each other. We just hated each other because we lived in different worlds, and I was very pro Howard, and always stuck up for Howard, and he wasn't. And then, but we actually talked for quite a while, and he kind of interviewed me the same time I was interviewing him, and it was kind of a neat dynamic. So no, this isn't all about me asking you questions. You need to fire as many questions your way, my way as well.
Okay, good. Well, then let me ask you, are you a friend of the court?
Am I a friend of the court?
Yeah, Howard he says it's like in his little circle, they're friends of the court, he calls it.
I don't know. I don't really know where I stand with Howard, John. I really don't. I haven't had much conversation with him over the last, and we email occasionally here and there, but I think Howard has somewhat, and I'm just being totally honest, and I hope this doesn't come back and bite me in the ass. I think I used to be a friend of the court, but my star doesn't shine nearly as bright as it used to, and I don't know why. I don't know what I did wrong necessarily.
You're too humble. You're too humble, Bubba. Come on.
No, I don't know what I did wrong to piss off Howard. Something has gone awry within the last 2 or 3 months, and I can't figure it out. I think he came to my wedding, and he was super cool to me, and I would always stick up for him.
Did you approach him in the hallway?
No, I don't. I'm in Tampa. I know. I hardly went up there. You know that.
Wait, he came to your wedding in Tampa?
Yes.
Holy shit! He didn't even come to my wedding in Amagansett.
He took a private plane and put Artie and Gary and and Stuttering John, and they flew to my wedding in 2007. That's kind of cool, isn't it? And that's friend of the court, wouldn't it be?
Bubba, I didn't go there. I wasn't invited.
Well, yeah, I didn't even know you, John. Well, I did interview you in 06, so that you claim.
So no, I'm saying like you said that Stuttering John was on the plane. I
meant Sal and Richard. I'm sorry.
Oh, how dare you!
So anyway, Stuttering John on the phone. Everybody who knows the history of Stuttering John, John was originally an intern with Howard. I think circa 94, something like that.
Yeah, I started with Howard, believe it or not, in 1988.
88, yes.
Yeah, and I left in 2004. And let me just say one more thing, Bubba. I don't know if you're aware of this. I dig Opie, I dig Anthony, and I don't know if you know, but Opie just lost his co-host.
Yes,
Carl.
I did see that, and I reached out to Opie privately, and I said, "Ope, there's nothing I can say that will, make this pain go away. Just know that I'm thinking about you during this tough day." Because what do you?
Yeah, no, I know. He got back to me after I DM'd him, and then he DM'd me again and said thanks. And I just, and I wrote him this morning.
And you know what, Stuttering John, we talked like a couple little radio nerd bitches for an hour and 20 minutes, and here we're so adversarial, and I wanted to kick his ass and all this kind of stuff, and we got along so well. And of course, I had Anthony on about a year ago when he was promoting his book, and I've been trying to, John, with what I've been going through in the past, however, all the bullshit that I've gone through, I've kind of changed from this guy that, hated and wanted to start fights and this standard radio war kind of shit to trying to put people together and let everybody get along and I don't know. I tried to talk to Opie about Anthony, and I tried to talk to Anthony about Opie, and that's just not happening. That ship has sailed.
That ship is long sailed, and I think with Jim Norton as well. I think Jim and Opie are not on speaking terms anymore.
But think about how many good radio personalities are out there that have whatever beef with each other or former co-hosts or, involve the Howard world and you and Howard and Opie and Anthony. And can you imagine if we all just dropped the bullshit and tried to get along? Can you imagine that?
No, I know. And that's something that I have to applaud you. I know you're around the same age. I know you were born in 1966. But, I think that's what happens when we get a little older. We start going, how ridiculous. And, I would get into Twitter wars with Artie Lang. I'd get into Twitter wars with Anthony Cumia. But then at the end of the day, it's like, why? It's just silly.
When really, if all of us outcasted motherfuckers would get our shit together and form some type of situation, we could have a great. There's a lot of really talented radio guys that don't like each other and have a beef with each other for whatever bullshit reason. That really we don't like. Nobody fucked your wife, or hold on, I probably shouldn't be talking about that. But I'm just saying,
what is it, the rap battles from the 90s?
Yeah, exactly.
Your mother wears combat boots.
Yeah, but we really I didn't push your kid down on the curb, and nobody ever did anything really bad to a guy. That's bad shit, but and nobody ever really did any shit like that. It's just all these little radio wars that we're supposed to have and stuff. And I don't know. I think Opie and Anthony did brilliant radio. You know how much money they could go get if they went out and got their shit together and did it again together?
Well, Bubba, I think that you and I should team up and do our own show. That's what I think.
Well, you're number 2. Artie's my first choice.
You know what? That happened. That's what happened to me with fucking Cumia. I was supposed to be Cumia's co-host, and then Artie took the fucking gig.
And have you seen how good Artie looks?
See, I did it initially, Bubba. I did. But did you see his last video? He posted on Twitter?
No. Well, I've been watching him do things on Instagram, like doing famous movie quotes and stuff.
Yeah, it looks to me like he might be falling again. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Hold on. For real?
Yeah, because when he first came back from rehab, he looked like really clean and good. Now I could see a little bit of change in his tone and in his look, in his appearance. And I'll always love Artie Lang. I've said that in the past. You know, we've had our beefs, but I hope he stays on the straight and narrow. But you know what, Bubba, and you know, you can answer this. I'd love to get your opinion on this. Artie gets out of rehab, finally gets home, and then books like 100 fucking gigs and, you know, announces a podcast. I mean, why does he want to jump right in when this is the shit that got him back into the trouble in the first place?
Well, I'm thinking that you needed to get some money, and you know, I'm thinking that's what he probably did. And
well, that's true.
I don't, you know, John, I don't know that if life. And I love Artie as much as you do. He went to my wedding, by the way, and so
I would have if I was invited.
Oh God, that would have been horrible if I would have invited you and Howard. I would have been coming. I would have been saying, "Hey, John, you can't come to the wedding. Howard's a bigger star." Hey, I have had Jay Leno on a couple times, and Jay's always been really good. Jay's been really good. He's into cars like I am and stuff like that.
No, look. Yeah, Bubba, I've said it in the past, so I don't want to bore, you know, but just to give you an example of what a mensch that Jay Leno is, okay? And that's a Yiddish term. I don't know if you know, but this is what a great guy he is. Jay was told that NBC wanted him to leave in February so they could promote Jimmy Fallon during the Olympics because that's their, you know, they have all those viewers.
Right.
But Jay's contract was not up until the following October. So Jay said, okay, you know what? I'll step down, but only if you pay the 150 staff members their full salaries up until October. That's the only caveat. And NBC agreed. And they gave us all, I got a big, nice 6-figure payout. And why? Because Jay Leno stuck up for his staff.
Now, when you got there in 2004, and within 6 months, didn't they kind of make? Is that how it went though? That's how. Yeah. And then you came back on the second time, but it was like within the first, like you uprooted your whole family and shit and moved out there, and then 6 months into it, they're like, oh, you know, Jay's stepping down.
Bubba, it's even worse. It was like 2 months in, and we were called into the conference room, and then Jay made the announcement, and I was like the first one to speak up. I said, Jay, I haven't even fucking unpacked yet.
And so so did you only get a year's salary severance after that?
No, he was given 5 years. So we did the 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they put Conan in. Conan failed. We did the Jay Leno show, and then they asked Conan to go to 12:05, but Conan's ego is as big as his head. And he refused, and then they gave Jay back his job.
So now, if Conan just would have said, you know what, we'll let Jay come back, and then I'll do 12:05. We'll see if I can hone my shit, and then maybe get another shot at it. But he wouldn't do that.
No, and that's where Team Coco and all these other kooks didn't get it. And you know, here's the thing, Bubba, that a lot of people don't know, and I feel very bad for Jay because it was never Jay that asked to leave. What happened was Conan told NBC if they didn't get rid of Jay that he was going to go to another network. So then Jay, you know, because Jay's a company man, said, okay, then I'll leave. And that's what happened. And everyone had this perception that it was Jay taking Conan's job. No, it was Conan taking Jay's job. And it's just sad how like the media, you know, they just positioned it.
Yeah, but I mean, the people in the media that really, really knew, and that probably didn't end up working well for Conan, who pulled such a pussy-ass gangster move on that and then failed. Like, if he would have gone there and knocked it out of the park, it would have been one thing. But when you fail on your ass after having demanded that, well, then you end up on TBS, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's on anymore.
They've reduced the show to 30 minutes. They're giving him a slow exit.
A slow exit. Yeah, you know.
And now in Conan's heyday, when he first took over, what kind of bread was he making, John, back in the day?
Well, of course, like you know me, and see, I used to be like a frequent guest on Conan when Conan got the show, you know, after after David Letterman.
Right.
Or whatever. Yeah, it was after Letterman, right?
What?
No.
No, it was after Jay.
It was after Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Smoke some more weed, John.
No, I have 6 doobies right in front of me thanks to speedweed.com, one of our sponsors.
Hold on. Speedweed.com. I like that.
Yeah, they deliver. Do you smoke weed, Bubba?
Yeah, I do, but Florida's not a recreational deal.
Oh, it's okay. Who cares? Everyone grows anyway.
Speed weed. And so that's like the Uber of weed?
Yeah, they just deliver it to you, and and it's fucking good weed. Although I wish they would give me sativa like I like. They always give me these hybrids. I don't like hybrids. I like fucking pure sativa. I like to be creative, write jokes, and fuck with Scott D. Pace on Twitter. Forget.
All right, so Conan has you on to try to pull the nose up on this bullshit, and you being the fine gentleman of keeping score of what people make on the bread deal, I'm thinking you know what he makes bread-wise.
Yes. So what I would do is because in those days Conan was gracious, like he was happy to be there. He wasn't a snob yet, although he turned into a real dick. But what happened was, like, I would hang out with Conan in his dressing room after the show, and I'm like, hey, so how much you making on this show? Like $3 million a year? He goes, John, are you fucking kidding me? I'm making $1 million a year. That's how much he was making.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's
and I never said that on this show.
No, I don't think you've ever publicly said that, have you?
No, there you go, Bubba. See, you're a good interviewer.
Well, thank you, Stuttering John. You already threw me a curveball telling me Howard thinks I'm a dumb fucking piece of shit. But anyway, we're going to be all right.
hey, look, Bubba. Hey, just so you know, look, I would be, it would be wrong for me not to tell you that. And my moles are always accurate. Like I don't know if you remember J.D. Harmeyer, but they like.
I do. I know J.D. real well.
Okay, well, I don't know if you know this, but J.D. would text interns, female interns of the Stern Show, when they would go to the bathroom and ask them to remove their panties and bring them back to him.
Yeah, I would expect that from J.D. I mean,
Yeah, and I know all this is true, which is why, like, all my moles, some are still there as we speak, Derek Jones, and I'm just saying that, like, I still have these. So I would be remiss to not tell you how they spoke.
But I'm going to continue my dullness and my dumbness, and by saying, you know what, that doesn't even really matter to me. I still, really love Howard, and I'm really loyal to him. He really resurrected when I had absolutely nothing, and I had no shot getting him back in radio. He's the one that gave me a shot, and he kind of set me up for the little bit of the global thumbprint that I have, although dwindling. He did set me up to whatever I have left. Howard set me up on. So I mean, I wasn't going to make this about necessarily anything bad against you. Hey, you can say anything you want against Howard. I'm just going to choose not to because I still love the shit out of the guy. I'm like that dog that you fed on the porch, and I just keep coming back.
Look, I appreciate that, and that's fine. Look, I've said this on my show a billion times, Bubba. Like I'll always love Howard, and I am thankful and grateful for all that he he gave me my start. But I don't know if you can remember the amount of shit he gave me after I left, and the amount of shit he gave Jay, and all the horrible things he said about me after I left. And that's when you had me on, and that's I don't know, like if you go back, you might remember all this because I had said something on Adam Carolla how Howard hated that we did outside shit,
right?
Which was the truth. He would say it every interview. He it's like Larry Bud Melman. He would always make the comparison to David Letterman. Oh, Larry Bud Melman went and did commercials, and then it waters down the brand. And Howard hated when we did outside shit. So he trashed me pretty hard. So now paybacks are a bitch. And here's the thing, Bubba. You know Scott the engineer,
yeah,
correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Good guy.
Yeah. I don't know if you even know this, Bubba, and I'm sorry to I don't know,
burst my bubble.
Yeah, but okay. This is to me the worst thing I think a person in Howard's position could have done. But Scott the engineer's wife was dying of cancer, and Scott needed to raise $50,000 to pay for her cancer, her chemo. And Scott went to Marcy Turk, who I'm sure you know. For all I know, you banged her.
No, I did not. Although I think she's kind of hot. I mean, in a ginger type way, I would.
Oh, so you're the one who didn't bang her. Like, she banged 2 of the staff, right?
Well, listen, John. I don't know that to be true, and I don't know that that's what...
I know it as a fact.
Well, okay, so continue on with Scott DePace and his wife having cancer.
She banged Steve Brandano, and now the guy she's married to, Burt Botto. Anyway, so here we go.
God bless them. I mean, I'd like to get some of that ginger pussy. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I think she's pretty hot, too.
I think she's really, really hot. And think about this. I mean, as much as people want to talk shit about Marcy, think about she was able to corral one of the biggest stars in the world and got him, in a different direction. I mean,
she corralled you?
No, it's Howard. Like, things have changed tremendously with Howard. He's, and people give him shit about it, but why can't Howard evolve into the 60-some-year-old, wanting to fucking ride out into the sunset kind of guy?
All right, so Bubba, here's the evolution.
All right.
And here's the sad part of the evolution. Marcy Turk, so then Scott the engineer goes to Marcy Turk. And by the way, this is all straight from Scott's mouth to my ears, and Royce, as my co-host, knows it to be true. Because he was.
By the way, hello, Royce. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah, and he was part of.
You got him like kind of in the gimped out, like his mic isn't near as hot, and you kind of got him in the corner gimped out. John, why can't you turn him up a little bit so he can really punch?
I'm running my own mic on purpose, keeping it low.
Bubba, he's running the board, not me.
Oh, okay. He's got himself gimped out. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I've got plenty to talk about. You don't need me.
De-gimp yourself, kid. Let's go. All right,
Bubba,
go on, John.
The next time I'm in Tampa at Side Splitters or whatever, you and I gotta hang because I think you're a good dude.
Oh, I'd love to take you to the Dollhouse and some of my various places. I'd love to go there.
Yeah, we'll smoke some weed. You and I on the town. We should tape it. It'll be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Stuttering John and Bubba on the town. Like, people use those terms anymore. On the town. Like we're in the fucking 60s, kid. Hey, kid, we're going to go on the town.
You guys go to a speakeasy.
Yeah, we'll go to a speakeasy.
Yeah. All right, going to the fucking Friars Club. Anyway, go ahead, Stuttering John.
Getting back to the... So this is really sad. So Scott the engineer then goes to Marcy Turk, Yoko Turco, and says to Marcy... look, I need the money. Can I set up a GoFundMe? Marcy says yes, but you can't ever say you're Scott the engineer, and you can't say you're from the Howard Stern Show. So Scott agrees. Scott goes on GoFundMe and raises the $50,000 in like a day.
Right.
Okay. Right. Howard is so embarrassed because really Howard should have dug into his own pocket. He's worth billions, and given the Scott the $50,000. Howard's so embarrassed, never gave Scott a dime. They moved Scott to a different floor of Sirius. Scott no longer works for the Stern Show. He's now only works for Sirius, has been written out of all scripts, all bits, and not to be mentioned on the air again. And to make matters worse, Bubba, when freaking Scott's wife eventually, unfortunately, passes, Howard doesn't even go down to him and say, I'm sorry. What he does is send an email. Beth and I are sorry for your loss. We'll donate to a cancer charity in your name.
Well, that's good. What's wrong with that?
Bubba, come on.
Listen, Howard does things differently than you and I would do things. Would you and I do that? Probably not. But Howard is as rich and famous as he is. He's a little backward, and and he doesn't like confrontation, as you know that. And when he's done with you, he's done with you. And when you're the host and you're that high profile, sometimes you are weird and do strange shit, and that's him. He's made people a ton of money and made people very rich and very famous. And at the end of the day, you got your start from there as well. And but I don't know.
No, look, it's all good. I'm just saying, when you speak of evolution, Howard's always been a cheap fuck, but I'm just saying to do that to Scott is really, really, I don't know. It's
and now so hold on, but we started off a few seconds ago saying that when you left, Howard said some just horrible shit and he was fucking with Jay. But I can understand how mad he would be because when you have a guy that is ripped from you, obviously,
wait, Bubba, I have to stop you.
Please do.
Give me one example where Jay ripped anything off from Howard. Just give me one.
Well, initially, wasn't the concept going to be you were going to do some on red carpet stuff and things like that?
No.
I thought that's what they initially were going to do with you before when you got out there, and then after 6 months they had made an announcement, and then they kind of changed your role. That's what I always thought.
Oh no! I mean, and the other thing that I don't know if you know this, Bubba, but Howard's always said that Jay stole jaywalking from the homeless game, and I've always believed that when I was with Howard, and then when I did the first homeless game in 1996 at the Yankee World Series parade.
Right.
And,
Which, by the way, David, how about my boy David Wells?
I love David Wells.
Tampa guy.
In fact, I just tweeted, David Cohen is one of my friends and followers on Twitter, and David Wells, I have a signed ball at my house from a perfect game event in Central Park from David Wells, David Cohen, and Don Larson. How great is that?
I had that same ball, but I don't have Larson, so mine's not worth shit. Because, the Yankees are in spring training down here, and so we used to kind of, hang out with those guys. And so I do have I have a Cone Wells ball, but, the big trifecta is you got to have that Larson one, or otherwise it's shit.
No, I know. Well, I'll trade you my ball if you get me a radio show, because that's what we've been looking for a while.
John, the radio is in an absolute fucking cesspool right now, and you got to. If you're going to be a radio guy, you also have to have some type of digital presence, whether it's a podcast or Twitch or YouTube.
Yeah.
Radio is just, because they've got rid of guys like Opie and Anthony and me and Howard and just, and there's just not. Meanwhile, the guys like Joe Rogan and shit like that, they had to go to podcasting. You don't think Joe Rogan would have been just as popular and as good on KLOS as he is on us? Of course he would have. Of course he would have, but nobody wanted to give him, Adam. Nobody wanted to give Joe a chance, so Joe said, "Fuck it, I'll go do podcasting." But radio stuck their head in the sand and not developed any talent or let the big talent do what they do, and it's just a big fucking free for all, mass exodus to the digital platform.
No, I know, and we have, we get big numbers here at the Stuttering John podcast thanks to the hard work of Royce and say hi to my buddy here. This is Frankie B, Bubba.
Hey, man.
Is Frankie B like a DJ on the weekends with his hat on sideways and like hey, it's Frankie B, along with Stevie B, like kind of shit like that?
His name is Frank Bocanegra, but somebody called him on Twitter that he's Frankie B, so that's what we call him now.
So you're still living in the LA area, right?
Yeah, I'm still in LA. And just to finish the story, in 1996, that's when I did the homeless game. And when I got to the Tonight Show, the head writer, I said, "Why'd you guys steal jaywalking?" And he goes, "John, we've been doing jaywalking since 1988." So it was all like a lie told by Howard.
Yeah, listen, this is not an excuse for Howard, but when you're wired like Howard, and I can't tell you that I am, but you're a host and you have to have a certain amount of swagger and type A alpha and everything's yours and everybody. And Howard's shtick is that everybody sucks and everybody rips shit off. That's kind of his mantra. And, so that's kind of like the shtick that is, that you must kind of have in order to be in that spot. And I think that Howard's kind of evolved a little bit with kind of getting away from that.
But it's unfortunate, Bubba, because people believe him. And then they trash Jay. And this is why, Bubba, I just want you to understand, like me in my position, right? I'm given the job of a lifetime. It's my dream come true. I went to NYU for film and television to be a writer for and an announcer as a stutterer for the best late night TV show in history is it's an incredible achievement. And I was so happy. But then Howard trashed Jay so badly that it got so bad to me that I had to go up to Jay in rehearsal, like after rehearsal, and go, "Jay, I'm so sorry that by you hiring me, it's caused Howard to just go crazy on you." And Jay put his hand on my shoulder and said, "John, I don't give a fuck." But you got to understand, me in my position, Bubba, I felt so bad,
Well, but you have to understand too that guys, when you develop a guy, and I don't want to say from nothing, but I think your friend was a former intern, or a guy you went to high school was a former intern for Howard, and he was leaving, and he got you an interview with Gary, right?
Yeah, well, we were both at NYU.
Right. And Howard kind of nurtured your deal into being a big-time star, which puts you even on the Jay Leno map. And whether Jay ripped you off for ripping off Howard's purposes or not, there's a certain amount of mama bear type stuff when you've developed a guy that's had zero radio experience into having the position of being the Tonight Show announcer and other stuff. So, your back's against the wall. You don't want to sit there and be a pussy, so you want to talk shit. And I don't necessarily know that it would go down that way nowadays, I think. I mean, when Howard was 40 or 45, that's probably how he rolled. But, again, I don't want to speak for Howard, and I don't want to make this a big Howard, ass-kissing, me defending him and you talking shit about him kind of deal.
I know. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to.
It's tough not to, because that's a big part of your history, obviously.
No, and I'm not trying to. I'm just like, you work there, so you have to understand some of the things I'm talking about.
Oh, I understand. I understand 100%. how it works. I really do. And the old Bubba would have been motherfucking this and motherfucking that, and the new Bubba that's been absolutely butt fucked by life is just wanting to maybe you could put a little anal ease on me before you slide it in. That's
And by the
all
way,
I'm looking
Bubba,
for.
and that's why, I know you don't remember, but that's why I was just like, I was looking forward to doing your show because you were there to interview me and not like everybody told me Bubba's going to be a dick to you. He's going to take Howard's side. He's going to trash you. And instead, you were like gracious and you were really nice. And, you talked to me about what I said on Adam Carolla and you gave me the platform to just give my side. So, look, I mean, I think you're a good dude and I'm not trying to get you to badmouth Howard. I'm just telling you the facts so you know what, at least what I was going through at the time.
And listen, you took, you made the right career choice. I don't know where you would be with Howard's World. I mean, you could be still working and still making a ton of money, or making more money, I should say. But, the opportunity to go to L.A. and be on The Tonight Show, there's not a lot of things that are bigger than that. And, for your career and your family, I think you got 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
You needed to do that. And that set you up for some great things.
Yeah, and so that that's all it is. But now I have to ask you enough about Howard. But I do have to ask you about because you do have a beef with Scott Greenstein, and I'm curious.
Oh, I wish I didn't. I really wish I didn't. I mean, that is just not something that's been cool to me at all.
What is the beef? I'm just curious.
When they gave me my offer, we were making $1 million. He paid the show. He paid me $1 million, and of which I had to disperse that amongst my guys. And we were also doing terrestrial radio as well. So for the first, let me see. So for 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, and 11. So for 5 years, I didn't really make any more money, but my salary was $1 million.
Okay, let me ask you something. I have to.
And then they gave me a take it in late 2011. Greenstein gave me a take it or leave it offer for from to 200,000, like non-negotiable. Take it or leave it, and I just thought that was absolutely an insult because we were we kicked ass. I think that we're doing really well, and I talked some shit about him. We made some goofy little songs about him, and I think maybe one of my guys said that he fucked Scott Greenstein's dad in the butthole or something like that.
Okay,
and we were just being funny, and I think that I'm completely 1,000% blackballed. I'll never work at SiriusXM, although SiriusXM really needs to think about life after Howard. And, what other radio personality, and I think that I'm the only guy that's ever been somewhat handpicked by Howard, somewhat groomed by him, was good enough to do Afternoon Drive for 5 years. Who's going to take over after Howard? Have they thought about that?
They have, but nobody's going to. That's the whole point.
No, and nobody can. Nobody can ever emulate what Howard does. But if you're going to get a personality that's been introduced to Howard's audience, that's been somewhat anointed by him, I don't think there's a lot. I mean, you probably got me. You probably got Booker T. You probably got, maybe Kid Chris. There's some guys that Howard likes over the years. But for the most part, Howard thinks everybody sucks. And that means his audience thinks that everybody sucks. And there are some people that you could put in there. I'm not the only one, but there's very few choices.
I'm very insulted you haven't mentioned Stuttering John.
Well, and if Howard's worried about his guys, staying employed for a few more, they could plug me in there with my guys, and I could mesh with his guys because I've already worked with those guys. And really, the only people that probably leave would be, Fred and Robin. And, the Garys and the Sal and the Richards and those, they all stick with me, and we continue to do a show. And it's not the Howard Stern show. It's my show, but it's Howard-like somewhat.
I've said, you know what, Bubba? I've said the same thing on this program. I said that we, even keep Fred and Robin there. Just replace me, Howard with me. But it'll never happen. But I have to tell you something about Scott Greenstein because, here's the thing, because I've never met the man. I don't have a personal beef with him. But I will tell you this. Scott Greenstein, I don't know if you know this, but Gary, Bubba Booey told me this, that when they were moving over to Sirius, Greenstein came up to Gary and asked Gary how much he wants to make a year. And, Gary was like, I don't know, how much do you want to pay me? And Greenstein said, well, how much is Stuttering John getting a year at the Tonight Show? And then Gary said 500,000. He goes, well, I'll give you 600,000.
That's a great deal.
No, I know, but
I would sign that, Dick. I would sign that contract and suck his dick right there.
No, but I'm just saying. But Bubba, who would really? He's so concerned about my salary that that's somehow gonna that's how he negotiates is to find out how much I'm making and then up it with Baba Booey. I don't.
Well, I mean, that's certainly a testament to you, though, isn't it? I mean, that's certainly you may take that as a slight, but I mean, you set the par. I mean, Gary should be calling you up and saying, "Stuttering John, because you make so fucking much now, I'm making $600K. Thank you, John. Stakes are on me next time you come to town."
No, I know, but he won't. But yeah, but he'll never do that. But I have to ask you one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe that's just because he couldn't judge Gary against his own worth. So he had to pick somebody else. I mean, Gary's obviously worthless.
Well, yeah, I mean, he belongs in a cage. But listen, hey, Bubba.
Who do you think would win in a fight between you and Gary?
I don't know, because that's like
zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary's a little more scrappy.
That we fighting.
Now, I'm not talking about Flunky versus Junkie. I'm not talking about you and Cabby, which I think you won. Didn't you win in it? It went all 5 rounds, but you won, didn't you?
Yeah, I won unanimously.
And I think Cabby was big as fuck back then, like 250, and you were like 180 or something like that.
He was 260. I was 174. And my favorite moment of the fight is when Howard asked Evander Holyfield, after all the promotion, in the 3rd round, after all the talk about me and Crazy Cabby, Howard asked Evander Holyfield, "Who do you think is winning?" And then Evander Holyfield says, "I think Stuttering Joe is winning."
And Stuttering Joe did win, motherfucker. Did you get a Did you get a bonus for that at all?
No, but I mean, Howard was like, everybody was pretty psyched for me. It was a great time in the Howard Stern show.
And it's also one of the big red letter days in the Howard world. And it also, is kind of a radio, like if you're a radio guy, you know Flunky versus Junkie. Like if you're a radio guy that's done any type of radio, that is like a huge history moment in radio moments, so to speak. I think that didn't they sell? Wasn't tickets like $100 and it was like
it was sold out, 4,000 seats, all sold out at the Trump Taj Mahal, and it's just weird how the world goes because I flew on Trump's helicopter. Trump came backstage to wish me luck, and now he's the president, and
you pranked phone called him, and oh my God, I had one run-in with the Secret Service during my radio career, and I wouldn't wish that upon anybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. Listen, I have to ask you a question, Bub, because this is what I mean about you being a good guy, and I don't know if you're going to answer honestly.
By the way, Stuttering John on the phone. You can go to stutteringjohn.com. One-stop shopping, including his kick-ass producer / co-host. Is it Royce or Roy?
Royce. It's Royce DiOrazio, and it's just go to @Stuttering John M or go on iTunes, the Stuttering John podcast. But Bubba, I do have to ask you this because I just have a feeling I'm going to be close on the answer, but we'll see. When you were paid $1 million, how many staff did you have to pay from that $1 million?
Well, I can give you a better understanding as I took home about 400 of that.
See, I knew it. That's what I was going to say, Bubba. You gave over half your salary to your own staff.
Well, I had to because I wouldn't have been able to put on a show. I mean, that was the deal. And I will tell you this, and not that I'm sitting here and sucking Howard's dick nonstop, but when I'm going to
call you. You are now the Senator Sabian.
I'm Bubba Turek. What's Marcy's last name?
Yoko Turco.
I'm Bubba Turco. Say it. Bubba Turco. But listen to this. When I first met Howard, when he was kind of feeling me out as to whether I might be the guy or not, I went to Don Buchwald's office, and then
there's a piece of shit right there.
Don talked to me for 10 minutes, and then he said, "Okay, now go down to the 3rd room on the right, and Howard's in there. You need to talk to him." So I walked in there, and listen, you worked for him at that point, but I'm just this radio guy that's talked some shit about him, and this is motherfucking Howard Stern. Like, this is Howard Stern. Like, you took it for granted because you worked for him, but at the end of the day, if you're a radio guy and you're not impressed or starstruck by Howard, well, then you're really not a radio guy. And
first of all, I was so, are you kidding me? I was so starstruck by Howard,
sure.
When I was there.
And so I go there, and here he is, and he's a lot taller than I thought he was. And we start talking like radio and like a couple little radio bitches, and we're like, hey, who do you like? And he's like, I like Phil Hendry and and Tom Likas and Noel Neil Rogers, and I start doing this and this. So then he says to me, and he makes it very, very clear, and I'll never forget this. He goes, listen, I'm gonna have Don call, Sirius XM and let them know that I'd like you to be my afternoon drive guy. But I will never, ever, ever get involved in your contract or the money that you make. Please don't ever, ever put me in that position because I will refuse to get involved. And so from day one, from interview one, he made that real clear. And so, in full disclosure, I can't ever talk shit about him for not sticking up or not getting involved with my money because that's the pretenses that I was hired under by him.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm not. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
No, I don't really because obviously, but when we were there, it was a different story. Like I mean, he tried not to get involved, but he would get involved. Look. When I left, his biggest lament was I should have came to him, and then maybe he could have helped me get more money, which was a load of shit. But
when the process happened, I think you were on Leno's show after that reality show. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I think you did Leno to promote that, right?
No, well, yeah. What happened was when I was on that show, Dave Berg, one of the segment producers at the Tonight Show, saw me on that show, fell in love with me. Debbie Vickers, the executive producer, saw me on that show. Fell in love with me because I was funny, nice, and not being a dick like I was, not doing the Stuttering John bit, right?
Not doing the Stutter John heat gimmick, just being a funny, stuttering, cool, Jewish guy from New York.
No, I'm not Jewish, but anyway.
I thought you were Jewish.
My name is Melendez. I mean, come on.
What are you? Puerto Rican?
Am I Juan Epstein here?
No.
Yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican, half Danish.
Really? But, that's a great combo.
I know. I'm a Danish spick. I'm a dick. I steal clogs. No, but here's the thing.
So you go out there, you're yourself. You're not doing the Stuttering John gimmick. You're like, this guy's real personable. Let's steal him away for Howard.
No. No, it doesn't even. Hey, here's the thing, Bubba. Like the truth is, so then, my dream the whole time I'm Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I'm sitting there praying on the cot in the rainforest, going, I hope that I booked on the Tonight Show. That's my dream. So when they tell me that I'm booked as a guest, I write my jokes in the town car. If we fly from Australia to LA, I write the jokes I'm going to say. I deliver all the jokes. I kill it on the Tonight Show, and that's on StutteringJohnMelendez.com. Because Bubba, you'll get a kick out of it. It's like so innocent and cool. And Jay loved me. And after the segment in the commercial break, the executive producer and head writer offered me a job. So it was
right there on the spot while you're on the set.
Yeah, like as a correspondent, that was the initial thing. But
see, so that's where I got a little bit misinformed. The fact that I think the first time you went out there, it was supposed to be more like a correspondent kind of deal, right?
Well, no. So when I just went out, so I was a guest, and then they said I'd make a good correspondent, but not to do Stuttering John stuff, just to do, like all the other correspondents, like Tom Green and, Mitch Fatel. There was a lot of different correspondents at the time.
I know, but you are Stuttering John. You cannot help but do the Stuttering John gimmick. It's not like you're going to stop stuttering when you're interviewing people.
Oh, yeah, but they didn't want me to, be obnoxious or anything. It doesn't matter. But anyway.
Like what you did to, was it AJ Benza that got mad as fuck at you?
Yeah. But I turned it down, and then later on they had an epiphany. Like, let's make John the announcer. They weren't happy.
But after you turned it down, did you go back to Howard and say, listen, Howard, I was out here, and these guys were, trying to hire me away?
Yes. In fact.
Okay.
In fact, Bob, but this is why, Howard's wrong for all the shit he says about me and Jay, because the exact thing that happened is I went back. First, I asked Bubba Booey, who in his, infinite
wisdom, in his infamous wisdom.
Yeah, I mean.
In his infamous God love Baba Booey, Fa Fa Foo Hi. Yes, go ahead, Fa Fa Foo Hi. I love that guy.
Did you get along with Baba Booey?
Yeah, of course. Listen, Bubba. Yeah, I got along with Bubba. Gary,
Bubba and Baba. Bubba and Baba would be a great reality show.
I love Baba Booey, but Baba Booey knows how Howard is, and so if Howard likes you, then Baba Booey likes you.
Well, that's why. So my mole told me that Howard and Gary both used to goof on you behind your back.
Oh, listen, the whole world's fucking goofed on me, John. Please watch the Hogan sex tape with my wife, please.
I heard about that. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. I mean, fuck it. So, I mean, actually, it's almost a badge of honor having Howard say that I'm fucking dense and I can't get it through my head because he's right. I can't get it through my fucking head.
well, dude, did you watch any of that tape?
No, I've never, other than the minute and 42 seconds that Gawker published that ruined my fucking life. No, I have never seen it.
I'm so sorry about that. That would fucking drive me nuts.
You don't even know the fucking story behind that. You don't even know.
Shed some light on that, Bubba? Shed some light on that and the whole Peter Thiel angle?
Yeah, we can here, but let's get through this. And then, I got all fucking day. How about you guys, please?
Yeah. Hey, man, I pay for my fucking Libsyn account. So, yeah.
And Stuttering John, please know, like, don't not ask me anything. Like, that's certainly like, you would be a pussy, John, if you didn't ask me about that big glaring matzo ball that's out there. You gotta ask about that.
Of course, but
you weren't. Hey, John, you weren't going to until I brought it up, motherfucker. No lie.
Listen, Bubba.
You were scared. You were scared to ask about the Hogan sex tape.
Bubba.
I think you just called Hulk Hogan a matzo ball.
Bubba.
No.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't going to bring it up, but you know why?
Why?
Because I didn't even know about it.
You are such a fucking liar.
I swear to God.
How do you not know it was the largest verdict of any celebrity sex tape in the history of the world, Stuttering John? And you're all about money.
Bubba.
You're all about money. You know what people fucking make. You know that.
I swear I didn't know. I know about Screech.
Bubba,
I didn't know about you.
I shit you not. John doesn't even know that Twitter has an app for his phone.
Yes, I do, and I have it.
Now you know because we told you.
I have it.
How old are you, John? You fucking acting older than you really are. How old are you? You're like 54, aren't you?
I'm 53. How dare you?
Yeah, whatever. We're the same age.
I know that, but listen, Bubba, let's get back to where were we here?
I don't even know. We keep spitting each other the fuck out. Is what we keep doing. Oh no, here's the deal. So you do the show. They say, "God damn, this is the most talented man we've ever interviewed. We're going to offer him a correspondence job."
Okay. Oh yeah. Let me just, and then we'll get into your sex tape.
Well, we don't have to. We don't have to. But don't be afraid to ask about it.
No, I do want to. And now that you jarred my memory, thanks to Royce and yourself. Yes, I do remember that. Now, listen. So I go back after doing the Tonight Show and killing it. Gary says Howard would never let you. I talk to Robin, and I say, Robin, I went to NYU. This was an incredible opportunity for me. Who knows how long Howard's going to go on radio? And we didn't know. Howard always was threatening to leave every contract negotiation. Anyway.
Do you think he's really going to leave this next one?
Yes. But anyway, Robin says to me, go and be an adult now. You're no longer a kid. Set up a meeting with Laura, Howard's assistant, and meet with Howard and tell him about everything. And I go, I will. And I tried to set up a meeting. Howard refused on the air. He said, don't bother me. I don't care about you. I don't care about your career.
I love that.
Yeah, of course you do, fucking Senator Sabian.
Did you call me Bubba Sabian?
Senator Sabian. Hey, Bubba, Tim Sabian trashes Howard nonstop off the air, and as soon as we get him on the air, he kisses his ass more than you are.
Well, hold on now. Anyway. I don't trash Howard ever. Like, you're not going to get me talking. You're not going to like. I'm not going to call you later today and be like, "Hey, John, guess what? Hey, fuck Howard, fuck that asshole." No.
Hey, guess what, Bubba?
What?
When we're in Tampa, getting drunk, smoking weed, staring at pussy, I'm going to get you to say, you're going to tell me some shitty shit Howard's done to you.
No, I'm going to fucking put Howard on the line and be like, Howard, John's trying to get me to talk shit about you, motherfucker. Give me $100 and I'll knock him the fuck out right now.
Only 300? And then Howard's not going to pick up the call and say to the gorilla, Baba Booey, and go, how stupid is Bubba to think I would actually take the call?
Whatever. You got me again, Stuttering John, you fucker.
All right. But anyway, getting back. So then Howard says he doesn't want to talk to me. Then I go to Robin again. She says, try it again. I try it again. Howard says the same thing. And then I go back to Robin. She goes, now you got to do whatever you want.
All right. So you did what you want, and it all worked out really good for you. Do you think, hold on, if you wouldn't have gone to the Tonight Show, do you think you'd still be with Howard?
If I didn't go to the Tonight Show, I would still be with Howard. And every single day, minute of my life, I would have regretted not leaving to benefit my family. You know, look, I got 2 pensions. I would have never had that on Howard. I might have made more in the long run.
Yeah, there you go.
I stayed with Howard. But money isn't everything, Bubba. And for me, you know, as much as like, you know, and we're not even like I don't care. I left. I was making $85,000 a year. Okay, but. And then to go and make 500,000, I think anybody would.
Of course,
think that was,
of course. And I mean, Howard would be the first one after he put his show shtick aside, financially and business wise. He would be like, you need to do that. But I mean, he can't. But the Howard Stern can't say that on the air. He's got to be big slinging dick. You know that.
Of course, because he's fucking got to overcompensate for his thimble dick. But here's the thing. So fucking
man, you're just full of them, are you not? And I wonder, you know what? I wonder. I bet you Howard's got a respectable. I bet you his dick is not near as small as he says it is. He just says that so that people just think that. But he's probably got a big dick, don't you think?
Come on, judging by the ass you kicked, you must have. Judging by the ass you're kissing, you must have sucked his cock once or twice.
No, I haven't. I would if I could get back on the good foot, I'd suck it. I would. Fuck it. I don't care.
All right. Okay. Would you suck? Would you suck? Whose dick would you suck? Would you suck?
Hey, you're stuttering yourself out of the business, John. You're fucking spinning yourself out when we're talking about dick sucking.
Okay. Whose dick would you suck? Howard's twice or Gary's once?
You know what? That question came so quickly to you. I think you've asked it before.
No, I haven't.
I think that you might be thinking about this a lot. I think you're trying to fucking project through me, and I think I would suck Howard's dick twice before I'd suck.
I knew it.
No, hold on. Would you suck? Hold on. If you were me and you could get a big time job back to where I was, making that $1 million a year. Maybe being, getting back in the good fold. If you were Bubba Melendez, do you suck Gary's once or do you suck Howard's twice?
First of all, John, I wouldn't suck anybody.
John, I'm asking you to be me. I'm asking you to be John Bubba Melendez. If you're in my situation, which one do you do?
Okay, first of all, I would not suck Gary's because I'm not into bestiality. And we all... So yes, I guess I would have to suck Howard's cock, but I'd rather be.
I'm going to use that drop. I'm going to use that drop 1 million times. I swear to God, I'm sending it right to Howard. I bet you I can get $10 for that fucking drop. Dear Baba Booey, do I got a drop for you? I got Stuttering John to say that he'd suck Howard's dick.
They tried to have you on. They said, John, we wouldn't know what to do with you. Now we know.
Yeah.
Now, Baba Booey, and Bubba, have you heard that Baba Booey has a gramata?
What's a gramata?
Baba Booey apparently has a girlfriend out here in L.A.
Oh, whatever. Who gives a fuck?
I don't care, but that means 2 chicks are into bestiality, and I find that hard to believe.
And his wife is hot, though. I will tell you this, and I don't know that to be true. John, you're just fucking around being dumb now, saying stupid shit now. You're just fucking...
Of course. Not really, but of course. I'll tell you off the air, okay?
So,
I mean, I know the girl's name, okay? How about that?
Well, good. You keep that to yourself. I don't want to have anything to fucking do with it. Anything to do with any of that nonsense.
It's all alleged. I know you don't want, and I'm not. I'm just speculating. Hey, now let's get into things that are not speculative. So, okay.
By the way, this is Stuttering John Melendez on the phone. You can go to his Stuttering John podcast. It's StutteringJohnMelendez.com. It's Stuttering John M on Twitter, and Instagram is Stuttering John Melendez. He's got 3 different screen names with 3 different forums. He doesn't keep anything uniform. And I got him to say that he'd suck Howard's dick, and the interview's pretty much over. I'm just saying, I don't need anything else.
Now, it's after you said you'd suck his dick.
Twice. Hi, this is Bubba. I'd like everybody to know that, yes, I would suck Howard's dick twice if I could get back on the air. I'm not. There's no shame in my game.
Have you ever sucked a cock, Bubba? Be honest.
No, I've never sucked a cock. I've been close to one before, but I've never sucked one.
Close to one, yeah, of course. You've hung out with Howard.
I've had a couple threesomes in my life, in my college days, in my younger days. It would probably put me in the same room as an erect penis, but I've never had one near my mouth or nothing.
God, I would never want to be in a threesome with two guys. I don't want to see anybody's erect cock.
Well, I was on opposite ends of the spectrum. When I was on, the north, he was on the south, and then vice versa. Like we weren't ever we weren't side saddling or nothing like that.
Yeah, and now, okay, speaking of following different people, because that means you would be following like your friend after he fucks and then you fuck her. So tell
I
me,
actually think, and this happened at Indiana State University, like circa 1986. I think that I was in the vagina first.
oh, there you go.
I do think so.
Yeah, but that means that your friend's cock was in her mouth before your
Yeah,
cock.
but the mouth seems so much more tolerable than the pussy, don't you think?
Well, listen, now let's get into your drama with Hulk Hogan. I mean, now
You don't know anything about it, so you can't ask me anything about it. You don't know anything unless motherfucking Royce just pulled up a fucking wiki on the deal. You don't know shit about it.
no. Well, I know that your wife had sex with Hulk Hogan, and they made a sex tape.
No. Nobody made a sex tape. My home surveillance system got it, captivated it.
Yeah,
and that was stolen by an employee of mine and was used. Spice Boy, and he stole it. The surveillance tape, and he then and I was doing mornings on the radio station down here, 102.5 The Bone, and big slinging dick, doing really good. And the afternoon drive guy was named Mike Calta. And they used that tape to get me fired and for Mike Calta to get my job. And I'm going to give you something that's going to blow your mind.
Go ahead.
Guess who the guy that distributed the tape was?
Bubba Booey.
Tony Burton, who represents Bubba Booey and works for Don Buchwald.
Holy shit! They fucking. Oh my God, that's so.
So you so Mike Calta is represented by Don Buchwald's office, Tony Burton. And in order to get this guy my morning job, they use that tape to distribute. It's a big lawsuit. Hogan suing Cox and Mike Calta and Don Buchwald right now in court. And that's going to somewhat exonerate me. It'll at least show people that it didn't go down the way everybody thinks it went down, and that is Bubba taped his best friend fucking his wife and tried to sell it. That's not what happened. Bubba let his best friend fuck his wife that the surveillance got, and my employees stole the tape to better their position, got my radio job, and I got fired, and it all went through Tony Burton's office.
Yeah, and guess what, Bubba? I have a chapter, in my book, really.
And that's probably why Howard doesn't talk to me anymore or is mad at me right now, but I don't blame Howard has nothing to do with it. Don Buchwald has nothing to do with it. There's this rogue agent that works for Don named Tony Burton that did the whole deal. Howard doesn't know anything about it. Howard's in an uncomfortable spot about it. That's why he didn't want to fucking talk about it.
Bubba, don't be naive. Don Buchwald knew all about it.
No, he didn't.
He's a scumbag, Bubba.
No, not going to go there.
Okay, I think he did. Does he represent you?
No.
Okay, he's a scumbag. I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you he is. But
that might be where some of my woes are coming from, but I don't look at it that way. I think this rogue agent, did it, and so that's the sex tape shit, and it's all going through court. It's going to go to trial next January.
Are you going to get any money from this?
No, I didn't get shit. I got fired and my fucking career ruined, and I am now officially the guy that let his wife fuck Hulk Hogan and backstabbed Hulk Hogan. Even though Hulk Hogan took home $35 million, was awarded $141 million and took home $35 million, I got fired and has basically been made the laughing stock of everything.
But you were sabotaged by your own fucking company.
Yeah, by guys who worked in my own company. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but now let me ask you then Hulk Hogan did you give him permission to bang your wife?
Yeah, I did. I said he was down on his luck. He was living with me, going through a bad divorce, and my wife was hot, and that's my friend. And so I was like, let it eat. Go ahead and get some. Whatever.
Holy shit, man. I could never do that.
Well, I'm wired different than you are.
Good. I can't wait till we hang out in Tampa.
Well, I'm single right now. I'm not dead. Well, I'm seeing. I mean, whatever. I'm not like married or nothing.
Yeah, but you're the best wingman in the fucking world.
Yeah, I am. I mean, that should be my new album. That should be my new book. I'm the best wingman in the fucking world. Period.
Yeah. I'm gonna come to Tampa. I'm gonna tell you I'm down on my luck, and then you're gonna get me laid with the girl you're fucking. This is awesome.
Now, are you currently seeing anybody? Are you? Because I know that you got divorced. I think in 2013 or something like that.
I got yeah.
Boy, that brought your enthusiasm right down to fucking zero.
No, I'm just trying to.
You were feeling so good, Johnny. You're like, oh fuck.
No, I think it was about 8. It's so funny, Bubba. People are like, I think it was about 8 years ago we got divorced. I got like Twitidiots, I call them, on Twitter going, oh, you're such a loser. your wife left you and you're such. I'm like Bubba. Look,
how do you think I feel? My wife fucked my best friend, and I lost everything. Period. And he made $35 million. How the fuck? I mean, how do you work that out?
No, but here's the thing, Bubba. Like, what? See, it's weird the perception. Like some men have that. Like, I'm a loser because I'm single. I don't know.
No, hold on. I love being single.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Fucking love it.
I enjoy being single. I like having strange. At every given time,
and you don't have to worry about it. Like you don't have to worry about getting caught and because you got some cricket in your hotel room and your wife calls and she answers the fucking phone.
No, and I love the freedom of it. So I don't know why some guys on Twitter they seem to think it's a negative that I'm single, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, some dudes are wired where they have to have a girl or a guy, whatever your sexual preference is. Like they have to have a significant other. They just got to be in a relationship. And I have been in long.
I work with two of them right here.
Is Royce that way? Is Royce real pussy whipped?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Listen, I like being single and doing what I want. And you know what, John? Porn is free and so good nowadays that you can just literally at 3:00 go run one, and then after you run one and you get that fucking poison out of your body, you're like, man, I wouldn't want a bitch up in the cut anyway. I want to go to bed and not have somebody leaning against me, making me all hot and shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm so with you, Bubba. See, I knew we'd find common ground.
Yeah, we got common ground, and we like to not have bitches telling us what to do and being part of a big time relationship. Now, do you still see your kids? Do you see your kids a lot?
And we both suck Howard's cock twice.
That's another drop right there.
You just up the ante, John.
Yeah, I mean, but look.
I had a big time crush when I worked there. I had a big time crush on Robin. I wanted to fuck Robin bad.
Look, Bubba. In our defense, we blow. I mean, I blow anybody over Baba Boohai. I mean, let's face it. That guy is he's a walking Neanderthal.
Would you blow Fred or Baba Boohai first?
Well, that's tough because Fred's not circumcised.
Not only that, but Fred's the kind of guy that after you sucked his dick, he'd kill you because he didn't want anybody to know about it.
Yeah. He's like a praying mantis.
Yeah, Fred would.
Your head off.
You know what though, Fred? For the little bit of time that I was up there, and again, you have way longer tenure than I do, and I'm not even really. I was just an ancillary guy that worked for Howard. I didn't live in that world every day like you did. But I'm going to give you my synopsis as to my two favorite people in Howard's world, and you tell me what you think. Okay?
Oh God!
Now, don't be a dick. Just try to,
okay.
Fred and Ronnie were my two favorite.
Okay. You know what? We found more common ground. Ronnie is one of my favorites as well.
I fucking love Ronnie, and I love Fred, and I really, for the little bit of time that I got to hang out with her, I loved Robin as well.
Yep. Look, I love Ronnie. I love Robin. You lost me at Fred. How about that? And you know what? I don't even dislike Fred. I think Fred was just always very envious of me and hated that. Like, look, Bubba, here's the thing. That I was in Howard's inner circle. Like, we would go out to dinner all the time. I would go to Howard's house in the Hamptons. I would fucking hang out at his place in Manhattan. And, Baba Booey wasn't even in
and then you fucked it up.
No. Look, I mean, but the truth is, it wasn't like he was going to be a good wingman for me. I mean, But
yeah, but I mean, you get to Howard rub. You get that rub. In pro wrestling, it's called the rub. So when the jobber would wrestle Hulk Hogan, the jobber would go out that night and still get some pussy because he got smashed by Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, well, I've done that. It was fun, and I'm just saying it irritated Fred, and Fred was like a real dick to me, and so Fred, it can go either way with Fred, but I don't dislike. Look. I don't dislike Howard either. I don't dislike any
Well,
of
you
them.
Act like you dislike Howard. Like that's all you do is fuck with them.
Yeah, no. I just am look, Bubba, I am very honest, and I'm not, I don't lie. Everything on this podcast is unfiltered. You could ask Royce and Frankie B. They'll tell you I'll never lie. I'll tell you if I
Frankie B. Yeah, boy. Frankie B. Yeah, boy. Ding, 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 ding. Frankie B. Yeah, boy.
Says Bubba the Love Sponge. I mean, come on.
Well, that guy's any better. God, can I sound like any more of a fucking zookeeper than Bubba the Love Sponge? Jesus, God. So anyway, listen, John. What? There's all these rumors as to what happened and why you got divorced. Are we going to talk about that?
She didn't cheat on me. I mean, there was nothing like that.
I mean, compared to what I've been through with my friends, who gives a fuck what she did? It's not near as salacious as my shit.
Look, she's a very, very honest and respectable woman, and she doesn't believe in cheating, and she would never cheat on the boyfriend she has now. And
do you guys do you guys co-parent pretty good?
Yeah, but we're completely amicable. There's no hard feelings. It was a mutual decision on both of our parts. You know, I fell out of love. And you know what? In her defense, you know, I neglected her. I'll be honest. I mean, you know, I was in John World, and I don't, you know, that happens sometimes when you got all the shit going on.
I make it $500,000 living in L.A. I mean, you're in fucking John World, cuz. I mean, and who's to blame you? Like, you know, and you know what? Thank you for being cool and stepping up and doing that. Not a lot of guys would say that.
Yeah, but you know, I always love her. She's the mother of my children, and you know, we just hung out this past weekend when we took my daughter to college. And
do you still try to break off a little something?
No. I don't. I
mean, you made 3 beautiful children together. She's she's like, man, you know, I know your homeboy can't, you know, remember the times that I made you squirt on the Jersey Pier? I mean, remember that, babe?
Bubba has that Bob Levy laugh. Yeah. I love it.
Remember that time I made you shoot? Maybe I made you squirt like a Sea-Doo in the fucking, you know, Coney Island Express. Remember that, honey?
No, I honestly, I don't. Like, look, I'm going to be very candid with you because I have to be honest. I wasn't I wasn't sexually attracted to my ex-wife the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because you started getting all that Tonight Show fucking groupie pussy, and that is A1 shit.
Look, I'm a guy that should probably always be single, and I'm guessing by this conversation that so are you, because you never know when a good cock comes around.
You never know when I got a top. You never know when I got an opportunity to suck Howard 2 times in one day. And so at that point, I don't want to be tied down with some bitch saying I can't go suck Howard off 2 times in one day, please.
Hey, here's one guy that I'd like to get your opinion on, because all the guys on the Stern Show, I don't really have a problem with anybody. I'll always love Robin and. You know, I even like Gary. I don't have a problem with him, but I mean, he's a backstabber, and he, look, after I left, I had plenty of moles telling me the same shit that I told you, that Gary would go on commercial break and trash me all the time.
But that's what we all do. Everybody talks shit about everybody.
Yeah, but you know, then call me and ask me to, like, if I wanted a show on Sirius, like it was like, or if I wanted to come on the show. He was like just such a douche. But anyway, the one person who I really would love to beat the shit out of on that show, there's only one. Ralph. What'd you think of Ralph?
Well, Ralph is a survivor.
Okay, here we go.
And Ralph is, I've had my instances with Ralph.
And
yeah?
Tell me one of them.
Well, I can't even really necessarily, it was just bitchy stuff. You know, anything involving Ralph is bitchy. And I don't know, as much as Ralph irritates me at times, I often think that his irritation sometimes is brilliant for the show and how he's positioned himself in life. I mean, who else could do what Ralph is doing? And I think Howard pays him. And right, I think Howard pays him, and he's a Howard's stylist. So, you know, and Ralph's mom lives in the Tampa area. And although I haven't seen, by the way, Ralph came to my wedding. I just want to let you know that. And
well, look, you know, I'm glad they all came because that marriage went well.
Yeah, like as good as yours did, motherfucker. Say it.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have any kids.
Was Hulk Hogan at your wedding?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan was my best man in my wedding.
Oh Jesus!
I had Hulk Hogan and Howard Stern at my wedding.
Was your wedding night a tag team with Howard and Hulk?
That would have been fucking. Now that tape would have been nice, now wouldn't it?
Howard would never let another man see his tiny penis. Trust me.
I don't know that it's tiny, my friend. I'm getting ready to suck it 2 times. I'll get back to you on it. Okay.
There we go. Thank you, Ed. Hey, so wait, and let me ask, because, you know, Royce keeps prompting me to ask about Brent.
Well, let's just have Royce do the fucking interview. Fuck it. John, see you later. Royce, what do you want to know, buddy?
All right. So listen, Bubba. Well, let me just back up. You made a comment, and John asked you about the numbers. So Greenstein says to you, we're cutting your budget by 80%.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
You're telling me it cost about $600K to run your show.
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying you. Oh no.
Yeah. I went. After that happened, I went to this internet, radioio.com, and we made a little, like quite a bit less. And so everybody had to take pay cuts. I think Brent went from like 220 down to 120. And I think that, everybody took like 30% pay cuts or something like that.
Well, before I even get to the Brent question, I guess what I'm getting at with Greenstein is he calls you in there. He doesn't have the balls to just say, hey, we're dropping your show. He gives you an insulting offer, which is really just showing you the door, because how the hell are you supposed to operate with an 80% budget cut?
Yeah. I mean, what's your point?
No, I'm just. My point is,
I mean, like, I thought you were supposed to be smarter than John. I guess you're not.
Nobody ever said that publicly.
What it occurs to me though is that the model has changed, and where I'm going with this is I don't think whether it's you or anybody else, Sirius is looking for a broadcaster. I think they're getting out of the broadcasting business. They're in the access business. They got Pandora now. They're selling a monthly access. They're bringing in like the Jenny McCarthy's, and they're giving celebrity shows. I mean, I just feel like there's nobody. I think
you're exactly right, Royce, and I think that they need to kind of still take a step back and realize that they brought a real rate. And John, at the end of the day, whatever problems you got with Howard, he's on the radio world, he's the biggest that ever was and will be. And so when Sirius needed to, before they merged with XM, they needed to establish what they do. They brought a real radio guy in, and I don't think that they maybe get away from that a little bit, but I think they need to kind of get back to some of the roots of. At the end of the day, we're still doing it's still satellite radio, and I think you need to bring radio guys in.
I agree.
And I don't know that the Oprah thing worked out for them. I don't know if the Jamie Foxx stuff works out for them. It seems as though they're trying to be a little bit more star centric when not a lot of times. And John, you've done both. Being a star on TV or on the film is not the same as doing a radio show. Radio people it's different. It's a different medium and how you communicate and engage your audience. And I think that they need to not get away from radio, so to speak.
Well, no, and I agree, but not just radio guys that are good at doing radio, which I believe both you and I are. Bubba.
Yeah, very much so. Maybe it should be the Bubba and John show or something. Or you know what? I'd even let it be John and Bubba. I don't give a fuck as long as I'm in there.
No, I would. Like I said to you right in the beginning, you and I should do a show together. We obviously have chemistry here.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you. But you said no. You're on this show.
Oh, I was going to go to sleep.
No. But Brent. So what's the question about Brent?
So
I love fucking Brent.
I was just curious. I know that went down in an amicable way, but does Howard reach out to you and ask for your blessing in that hiring?
Yes, he did.
He did. Okay.
He actually, Brent was working for he went to L.A. and he was doing some kind of syndicated. God, I forget her name. She's like on Westwood One or something, and she's not real good. She former actress or some bullshit, and Brent was executive producing for her. And then I think there was a position open in the Howard world. Brent flew out there and interviewed. Jeremy and those guys, everybody liked him. Howard personally called me and said, "Listen, Bubba, we're thinking about hiring Brent, but absolutely, I will not if you have a problem with it." And my exact answer was, "You know what, Howard? I'd be honored to one of my guys be working for you, buddy. Go ahead." And thank you for asking.
Well, see, that's very nice of you because you're like a normal good guy, and I mean that. I'm not fucking with you because
as compared to the other times that you fucked with me this entire interview. But other than that, we're good, buddy.
No. Because I'm going to give you a little taste of the guy who you keep kissing his ass. Okay, Howard, right?
Yeah.
Howard's biggest thing to me was I should have came to him before I signed the deal with NBC, right?
Yeah.
Now, Artie Lang told me at the time, because I told Artie first that I was leaving. Artie was my best friend on the show. So, and
which, by the way, I'm trying to get Artie on my show, and Artie, by the way, Artie was at my wedding and did rails of cocaine with Brent at my wedding, and
great.
And I got Artie. I had Artie hooked up with strippers and everything, and I'm trying to get Artie on the air, and I can't get him to return any of my shit.
Yeah, he doesn't get back to anybody. But listen. Okay, Artie then goes, you should probably tell Howard. Okay. I said, no, Artie, because if I tell Howard, Howard's going to cockblock me away from this gig. Okay, Artie goes, I wouldn't do that. Guess what happened? Okay, I, of course, signed the deal before telling Howard because I know Howard, and he would cockblock it. So guess what happened, Bubba? It's in my book. Artie Lang has a chance to replace Craig Kilborn. and they're going to have different comics for 2 weeks, like 4 comics, and then they're going to pick the host. Rob Barnett is producing the show. He does what Howard did with you. He decides he's going to call Howard and ask for his blessing of having Artie have a chance to fucking be a host of a late night network talk show. And you know what Howard says?
What?
Fuck you, Rob. You can't take my guy. Fuck you.
But see,
Rob doesn't take him, and Artie is screwed.
Well, I understand that, and it's not good for Artie. But when you're the boss and you've developed this talent,
he didn't develop.
Listen, I love Artie to death, and I'll stick up for Artie forever. But Artie's, going with Howard after Jackie left certainly propelled Artie to whole nother levels. And I don't know that Artie would even be considered for that. What, based on his Mad TV and shit like that? I don't know that Artie would have even been considered. But hold on, I don't know that Artie would have even been considered for that gig had he not been in Howard's world.
But let me ask you a question, okay? And this is the lament I say on my show all the time. First of all, I don't know if you know my past. Ever since I was a little kid, I was asking goofy questions to people. So much so on my 4th grade report card, the teacher wrote on my report card, John tends to ask outrageous and penetrating questions in class and stutters when excited. That's me.
And that's great. That's great, by the way.
Thank you. I've been this way all my life.
Mine was Bubba likes to cut in the lunch line and get an extra slab of pizza.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, look, yeah, Howard gave me my start. Howard gave Artie such a big platform. But at what point does the favor get returned in all the airtime I gave Howard? At what point does the favor get returned when Artie gives Howard all this great airtime and material? When does it become an even playing field?
It maybe never does, and it's not easy being Howard, and only he could answer that question. And sometimes it never does get repaid. It just never does. It's like old school shit, and I can't necessarily say which one is right and which is wrong, but I certainly understand defection and having people leave that you've nurtured and made into. I mean, Artie was doing clubs when he was with Howard. He was doing little arenas like 5, 8, 9, 10,000. It's just it's the Howard rub, and I can see where Howard would be mad. I don't know that Howard cock blocked him or anything like that, but I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that, Johnny.
It's okay, Bubba. I understand that you're still trying to get Howard's, to take one of your calls. See, I'm over all that stuff at this point.
Yeah, I'm still that, like I feel like Olivia Newton-John in Grease. I'm desperately, like I'm sitting waiting for Danny from the fucking Bowsers to call me back.
Are you stranded at the drive-in?
Yeah, I am. Beauty school dropout with fucking Frenchie and everything. I'm just telling you.
No, it's all good. But all right,
I do think if you could get over hating Howard, we could do a good show together. I do think that.
But first of all, Bubba, I don't hate Howard. If I saw Howard in the street, I'd give him a big hug.
You'd bitch out. If you saw Howard, you'd totally bitch out. You'd be like, "Oh, Howard, how you do?" Like we all would. Yeah, everybody bitches out to Howard when you see him.
Dude, I've said it on this show a billion times. Royce and Frankie as my witness. Frankie B.
Frankie B. Frankie B. Wiki, fucking Frankie B.
I said on numerous occasions, I'm grateful to Howard. If I saw Howard in the street, I would fucking give him a hug. I would say thank you again, like the million times I have, and then say, hey, let's go grab a beer.
Hey, we got Frankie on the wheels. Can you hear it? Hey, yo, what's up? Welcome, y'all, fucking Jersey Shore. It's fucking Frankie B. Yeah, boy, on the 1 and 2s. Fuck yeah, Frankie B. And my boy Oscar. Yeah, what's up, fucking Oscar?
Hey, that's my boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you guys do all this out of a studio in L.A.? Is that where you guys? I mean, I can only imagine what rent costs in L.A. It's probably like $50,000 a month or something like that.
I can't imagine it because Royce pays it.
Man, you got Royce bamboozled, do you not?
No, Royce is a very, very smart bussman.
I'm just fucking with you, Royce.
Yeah. But here's the thing. When I said Oscar's,
I want Royce to talk more. I'm kind of fucking. I'm over your shit, John. I want to talk to Royce.
No, but I just wanted Oscar. When I said Oscar's my boy, my son's name is Oscar. That's why.
Oh, I did not know that. I forgot. I called Royce Oscar. I didn't even know. Yeah. I didn't even know Oscar was your boy. You got two boys and one girl?
2 boys and 1 girl. Are you smoking weed right now?
No, not at all.
Okay. Hey, okay. All right.
No. I feel like my parents just jumped in my room. Well, I'm not doing shit. Seriously.
Hey, Bubba.
What?
Have you banged anyone that's famous?
Have I what?
Have you had sex with any famous person?
One.
Who is it?
I'm not fucking telling you.
Oh, come on,
I'm
Bubba.
not. I'm not. I
Don't
feel,
be a
hey,
fucking
John, I feel like we're in a treehouse right now, and like we're playing Truth or Fucking Dare right now.
Come on, Bubba. Come on. The world wants to know. Come on. I'm the interviewer. Come on, let me be your Barbara Walters here. Come on.
Well, you know what? I had Charlie Murphy in here one time. Remember, God bless his little heart, Charlie Murphy back in the day.
You banged the puppet?
No. You know Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's brother that's now dead.
Oh, McCarthy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And you just said Eddie. You just said Barbara Walters. Did you know that Charlie Murphy said that when Barbara Walters did her big interview with Richard Pryor back in the day, that Richard Pryor fucked her.
Really?
And I got that when I was on Sirius XM, like in 08, 09. So anytime I see the word, anytime I see or hear Barbara Walters, the first thing I think of is Richard Pryor laying the steam. Of which, when I went to Howard's and Beth's wedding, did you know I went to that?
No.
Yeah, at that real fancy fucking restaurant, and Julian Barberie, and
I didn't go to that.
And Billy Joel and Chevy Chase and Artie and me.
Yeah.
And you know what table I sat next to? Sam Simon, God bless his little heart.
Poor Sam.
Were you and Sam close?
Not close, but we hung out, and I took him out on a blind date with my ex-wife's good friend.
You should have let Sam fuck your wife. You would have been in better shape.
Well, yeah, but he's busy. He was too busy banging Ralph. But let me ask you a question.
I think he was too busy counting his fucking Simpson royalties, to be honest with you.
Exactly, or his Emmys. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I know you tried a nice deflection there, but you're not going to get the pit bull away from you here that easy, Bubba. So just tell me, who is the celebrity you banged?
She's not even a celebrity. Like, she was a celebrity for like a couple years.
All right.
And she was like one of these track acts that I was working at B96 in Chicago back in 1989. And she came to the Riviera Theater, and she was really a hot pop artist at the time. And,
What's her name?
And I didn't fuck her or nothing. I fooled around with her, but that's the closest that I've ever come to messing around with somebody famous, other than my wife, who's now famous because she fucked Hulk Hogan, my ex-wife.
Did you get a blowjob from this girl?
I got my dick rubbed. I got like a jack in with a makeout. I got a jack in with a makeout.
But like not over the pants, like she really grabbed your cock.
She had my missile out. She had that missile out, yeah.
All right. So what's the girl's name? Come on.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on, Bubba.
Well, let's take some 1989 pop star.
Yeah.
Is it that redhead chick? Was it Tiffany? Tiffany?
I want to zookeeper this up a little bit, with the sound effects.
How about Debbie Gibson?
I think it's pronounced DeBoer.
You guys will never, ever, 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 ever in a million years. But she was really fucking popular. She had a huge hit.
In 1989?
1989.
Paula Abdul.
Who?
What was the name of the hit?
Motherfucker, I'm not going to spoon feed this shit to you, John Melendez.
Paula Abdul.
No.
89. Come on, Royce.
You guys get 3 more guesses and then we're out. 3 more guesses and we're out, and then we're moving on. Because let's talk about the fucking famous people you fucked.
Young MC.
Young MC.
Easy.
Yeah, real motherfucking cheese. Vanilla. My chat saying Vanilla Ice.
All right.
Nana, remember Nana Cherry Buffalo Stance? Yeah, Gigolo.
Hold on, Bubba. What was she Caucasian or African American?
She was Caucasian.
All right, Caucasian.
How about you, now, John? After you guys do not successfully guess mine, you have to give us some hints as to some of the famous people that you fucked in your.
I banged one. I banged one Playboy centerfold, and 2. I banged 2 Playboy centerfolds. Could have been Crystal Bernard from Wings, but I was married at the time, and I
did you get a handy on that deal?
And I made out with Sandra Taylor, Sandy Buckhorn. I made out with her a couple of times.
Right.
Probably could have banged her at the Playboy Mansion.
Did you have cigarette? Did you have cigarette breath?
No, she was busy eating like Cheetos, and she had all.
No, but you don't smoke cigarettes anymore, do you?
No.
But like making out with an ashtray, that might have hurt you a little bit.
All right. Yeah.
Was it Michelle Shock?
Who?
Michelle Shocked?
That's the first guess. You got two more.
Mid-year.
Who?
All right, well, maybe, I don't know. That's all I got.
All right, well, come on. Hold on. We have two more tries. Frankie B. 1989.
Hold on, I gotta get the right music for Frankie B. All right. Yeah, this is fucking Frankie B on the wheels of steel. Yeah, boy, it wasn't Tiffany, and it wasn't motherfucking Debbie Gibson, man, and it wasn't Nana Cherry. It was Martika, Toy Soldiers. Yeah, boy, fucking Frankie G.
Holly Johnson?
No. Last guess.
Wait a second. Why are you in control of how many guesses we get?
So, John, you've already said yours. That's all you've had? I mean, John, you were a big-time star on the Tonight Show. Come on, man.
But I was married. Don't you understand?
For that entire run. Can you imagine if you would have been single while you were on toppest of top, making, $800,000-900,000 with helicopter rides to work? I mean, God.
Yeah, well, look, I mean...
What was when you worked for Leno, and what was your typical day? Like, you had to have your jokes in by 3:55, but what time did you get to the lot?
Well, it depends. When I was just the announcer, I was writing jokes, but I write it from home. I didn't have to get there till 1 o'clock, do the announce, and then go to the rehearsal, and then maybe shoot a couple of bits, and then that's it. Hang out and.
But what time would you get home? Get there at 1 and get home when?
Like 5:30, 6, and then I come home, and my wife would have dinner already. We go there, and then that was it. I would fucking
like 4 hours a day, $500,000 a year. Are you fucking kidding me? But that's not. But that's $500,000 a year is a lot, but it's not that much in LA. It's tough out there, isn't it?
No, it isn't that much, but also, like Bubba, like you have to understand, it's television. We got free fucking lunches,
cars,
free food, free everything. I mean, hey, Bubba, I'll tell you a funny one. I don't know if I ever told this on the air. One of the pages was Lindsay Stevenson, McLean Stevenson's daughter. Do you remember McLean Stevenson?
Yeah.
From MASH.
Mm-hmm.
So she picked me up after I got my colonoscopy.
Right.
So she picks me up. I'm still coming down from the drug they give you. That drug.
And you're probably hungry as fuck because they don't let you eat all day, so you're just fucking starving. Yeah. That's the first thing that hit my brain. Imagine that.
Yep. Of course, but yeah. So we go to Mulberry Street Pizza, which is like the closest to New York pizza in LA.
Right.
And I grab a couple slices, and then she takes me back to the Tonight Show lot, and then like an idiot, I go, "Oh, I heard that you're McLean Stevenson's daughter." She goes, "Yeah, I am." I go, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Tell him I said hi." She goes, "John, he's been dead for 5 years."
Oh, but that might have. But did you get pussy then on it?
No, but I know somebody that did.
Yeah, well, see, I thought just being uncomfortable in front of her is one thing, but maybe getting some Cheeto fingers on her is another thing.
No, I didn't. You
didn't get Cheeto. You didn't get Cheeto fingers.
I missed the opportunity, but now you know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hit on like chicks, like Pam Anderson. Now she's like.
Yeah, that's right in your fucking power alley right there.
Yeah, like she's getting older now. Like maybe
Tawny Katane.
Yeah, like maybe it's like I think I have to go after like 65-year-old like.
No, I think you need to go like between 45 and 55.
No, but I'm saying, Bubba, like a guy like me, if I hit on girls that I like a girl that was really hot but now like has hit the wall kind of, but still bangable, like a Heather Locklear. Like, maybe that's what I should be hitting on now. Cause,
I think you should be Heather Locklear's life coach and just fucking talk her down off the ledge and be the nice guy. And then, just think about that. Think about the Peter-in-laws you would be. You got Richie Sambora. You got Tommy Lee. You may not even hit the sides if you try to fuck that.
No, but I know. But it doesn't – I don't care because I could still say, 5 years after I banged, I banged Heather Locklear. I don't have to say what year.
Yeah, you don't got to say that it was circa 2020. You can say that it was circa 92 when she was hot as fuck with the Farrah Fawcett feathered hair deal.
Yeah, so Crystal Bernard, if you're listening, I'm available still. I mean, I wasn't then, but I am now.
Who would be who would be your absolute it girl? Like mine is Minka Kelly. Like
mine is Mila Kunis.
Oh yeah, she's hot, but. And she looks like she'd be a freak, too. Like an absolute fucking freak.
Definitely. Wild, crazy, fucking she'll take it in the ass.
What's the freakiest bitch you've ever had?
Oh.
Not necessarily by name, but like, what was it? Was it like, were you in Austin, Texas doing the fucking, the Okie Doke Club and you Met this
No.
this wild Texan chick.
No, this girl in L.A., an attorney, who I would bang. It was like right after I got divorced. I would bang her like all the time. She would tell me to like strangle her and slap her and like really like beat her up.
How old? How old was she?
She's about like maybe 45, and I would like bang her, and then one time I banged her in the ass, and then she shit all over my cock.
Oh, you know what? I got poop dick one time on St. Pete Beach, and I swore off of it. I've never done it since. It's the worst.
Oh God! And then the smell, the stench. Talk about power of attorney. It just filled the air, and it was like she's like, "Don't look down, don't smell," and she grabbed the fucking towel, wet my cock down, and then we just started banging her in. I started banging her in the pussy.
Oh, that's nasty. You're a nasty New Jerseyan, is what you are. Oh my God, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty.
No, I'm New York, man. I'm not from Jersey.
You gave her poop pussy then, didn't you, buddy?
That's right. But you know what? She probably enjoyed it because
you are from New York, but that's a Jersey tactic, motherfucker. I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
getting poop on your dick and then going back in for the vaginal reentry. That's awful.
I can't argue with you. I banged this chick from Sleeside Heights once. I had her fucking, because my friend never got laid. I did what you did. I just said to my friend, "Here, go." I go, "Can you blow my friend?" So she did, and then next morning I woke up and she left and she stole my ring.
One time I was Larry Bird's brother, Jeff Bird, was my roommate at Indiana State University.
Wow.
And he was kind of, shy and backwards. And I was a big-time radio guy in Terre Haute, Indiana, doing top 40, playing Falco, Rock Me Amadeus, and the Janet Jackson Nasty. And I had this big, heavy girl named Candy. And so she met me at our room, and I told Jeff, Jeff, I'm going to have this big girl blow you, okay, because, you're my best friend and everything. And she's like a groupie deal. And I said, but she's going to blow me first. And, you have to go like kind of outside the room while I get blown. And then I farted in her face, like a real big fucking fart. And Jeff Bird goes, "Damn, Bubba, I didn't know you could fart on girls and they'd still like you."
So look, get the zookeeper music already. Bubba, get the zookeeper music.
All right, hold on here. Here we go.
Okay. Hey, Bubba, are you saying that Jeff was a bird brain?
I don't know if that joke's worse than the power of attorney joke that you tried to slide in that I didn't fucking laugh at. I think that Stuttering John just needed a setup for his poop dick joke, so he did the stuttering. He did the fucking.
You got me.
I got you, John. You fuck. Don't be talking bad about my boy Howard, you motherfucker. That's my guy. We'll beat your ass up.
Your boy Howard fucking goosing you behind your back, but you still kiss his ass.
I don't give a. I'd still suck his dick twice. I don't give a fuck. I'm loyal, my friend. I'm loyal. That guy fucking resurrected me when I was shit. I was thrown off the radio, didn't have a fucking chance in the world, and whatever I got left today is because he gave me a rub. I'm just telling you.
All right, listen. Hey, at least he did good. I mean, look.
He did good. He did good by me. Now, what he says, listen, we all talk shit about people behind their fucking back. You just got a couple little bitch ass moles that are being dicks about it over there in fucking Serious Land.
First of all, I'm telling you right now, Bubba, that when I hang up this phone,
I feel like I'm talking to my neighbor. He's gonna come kick my ass.
No.
When I hang up this fucking phone, you're gonna see me on your front lawn. Come out there, fucking pussy. I'm gonna kick your ass.
No. When I hang up this phone, I'm gonna say to my buddies Royce and Frankie B, I like that Bubba dude. He's a good dude. Hey, I'm gonna tell people, you know what? I don't know how the fuck can you talk any shit about Stuttering John? I like that guy. That guy's all right in my book. Yeah, see, I'm not going to say anything bad about you. So, no, everybody doesn't talk shit about everybody.
But in the business, in the radio business, like if you were another radio guy, we'd be talking shit about each other. I used to talk shit about Opie. I didn't even know the guy, and now I love him.
Of course. Oh, he's not a bad guy.
And you know what? Howard is such a big-time star that he's got all these little fucking mole bitches that because he is a big-time star, that it's easy to talk shit about. You don't see anybody talking about J.D. Harmeyer now, do you? Because he ain't a fucking big-time star. But when you're a big-time star, you get everybody fucking hating on you, period.
No. Listen to me. I worked with J.D. Harmeyer. And
by the way, I love J.D. Harmeyer. I do.
Okay, here we go. You love everybody. But here you go. You are the love sponge. But here you go. J.D. Harmeyer was the biggest asshole even when I was there.
Yeah, he is a little dry and stiff. He is.
Yeah, he's a dick. He's almost as big as a dick as Ralph. And then that's the only two people I can honestly say over there that I like. I wouldn't mind smacking in the face. Like those are the only two.
But we have established that if you saw Howard out to dinner, you'd completely bitch out.
If I saw Howard, I'd give him a hug. I'd say, "Look, it's all radio. I mean,
And I got inside information that Bubba wants to suck your dick.
yes, twice.
Two times.
But in all honesty, Howard, it's only to get away from the thought of blowing Gary.
Yeah, true. I mean, well, I don't know. I'd probably suck Howard's dick for pleasure just to get that job back. Whatever.
Oh boy, man, no way.
I've never sucked a dick in my life. But hey, I mean, what's to say? What's wrong with it? It's just, it's cost of doing business.
Have you ever touched another man's penis with your hand?
No, I don't think so. Like,
what do you mean you don't think so?
No, I can say that I haven't. I mean, I don't think I have.
Okay.
Like in the 3 or 4 threesomes that I've had in my life, I don't think that I've ever touched a dick. I've always tried. I don't try to side saddle. I always try to go north, south, and south and north.
I know.
Have you ever had a threesome?
Oh God, I've had plenty. In fact, the first one I had was right in Dallas city limits, ladies.
Now, have you had any 2 guys and a girl, or has it always been 2 girls and a guy?
The only time there was another guy involved was the guy I told you about in Sleeside Heights, and it was just because, he went down on her, and she blew me, but then that was about it. And then my friend
that's not real hot.
No, it's not. And it got worse because then my friend opened the door of this shitty hotel that we had in Sleeside Heights, and a piece of the stucco fell off the ceiling right into my mouth, and I swallowed it. In the next 45 minutes, I was hacking, trying to get the flake of paint out of my throat. So the whole thing was awful.
Stuttering John. Now, are you touring currently, John, or no?
Yes, in fact, Bubba. Thanks for asking. I will be headlining the Portland Comedy Festival in Oregon. I
wonder what Portland, Oregon bitches are like. Have you had them before?
No, but I did go there to do a correspondent piece for the Tonight Show, and it's a beautiful state. It's green, it's beautiful, and I am going to be there October 4th, which is my birthday, Bubba, and then October.
By the way, that's my sister's birthday, October 4th.
There you go.
Now, John, out of all the places my sister was born in 1970.
Is she hot?
Yeah, she got big tits, but she's married. She's married to a filthy Egyptian man, and I don't, he's a very nice guy, but I always check for backpacks at family gatherings. He's a fucking computer whiz. He's he's a super good guy. And I want to not like him because he's fucking my sister, but at the end of the day, he's super cool. So it's tough. Like, it's tough to get by the fact that he lays the fucking Egyptian rail to my sister, but he's a good guy. I like him.
All right. Have you ever had a girl put on a strap on and fuck you in the ass?
No. Oh, that would hurt. I have a hard time with some of my fucking cow-like turds, let alone. Now, John, where do you come up with that out of nowhere that you're projecting at this point?
No, because there's a guy at the pub that I hang out with that's done that, and I don't know.
I have a hard enough time getting my prostate checked, and I think that's constant pressure on your prostate, ain't it?
And by the way, there's somebody that I'm not going to mention his name, who at Sirius, who is a very dear friend of Howard's, who me and Bubba Booey, we all speculated that he also enjoys that kind of thing. I'm not gonna.
I know you like to talk shit about Ralph, but stop, buddy.
No. But guess what? His name begins.
No, let's not even go. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go to stuff. I'm already hated enough. I'm not gonna spread strap-on rumors, buddy. No way.
Okay, all right. Have you ever had a girl's her digit in your ass?
Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 1988 shit. Out of all the cities that you've toured in, who has the most aggressive, hottest chicks? Now, a lot of times I hear from famous people, Dallas has got a really good stable of girls.
I would say Dallas,
Phoenix.
I would say Dallas, Florida, and New Orleans.
Florida is just straight white trash capital of the world, is it not?
Oh, and also Cleveland. Like, that's where I banged the porn. I mean, that's where I banged the
porn star. What porn star was it?
No, it was the Playboy. But that's another thing. The Playboy Playmate I banged. She was the Playmate in 1990. I banged her in 1994. So,
that was She was still fairly on the vine there. Still.
Yeah. Hey, look. I mean,
was it good pussy?
Yeah, she's the one who we ate buffalo wings and then
fucked.
Yeah, and then she's the one who put her finger in my ass, and then I got hemorrhoids. The next morning, I was in fucking.
Now, does your stuttering increase when you got a finger in your ass, or does it tend to like maybe even you out a little bit? Like like I mean, how does that go?
All right, okay, all right. You got me on the power. You just came down to the bird brain level, okay?
I know, I did. But John, out of all the years,
play the zookeeper music for yourself.
Hold on, let me hear. There we go. Hey, we got stuttering John on the phone right now, and John, let me tell you something. Does your stuttering increase or decrease when you got a finger in the ass? Now you got to admit though, out of all the radio interviews you've ever done, nobody's been able to ask you that question, John Melendez. Don't even lie.
It did not increase, but the next morning I had to perform, and I played our hit song, I'll Talk My Way Out of It, on the stage in front of 10,000 people in Cleveland, and my ass was on, as Artie Lang would say, on fire.
Yeah, like a balloon knot coming out of your asshole, right?
Oh, God, it fucking hurt.
So in all the years and all the radio interviews and all the times that you've been on the air and all the shit that you've done, nobody's ever asked you, when you have a finger in your ass, does your stuttering increase or decrease? You got it. That's pretty revolutionary there, buddy.
No, you know what? It's not true. One person asked me. It was Barbara Walters.
Yeah, after she fucked Richard Pryor.
Yeah, right after she fucking banged Richard. I can't believe Barbara Walters. Fuck.
Now, I don't know that to be true, and a man that's now officially deceased is the one that said that, but I do have the tape of him saying that. I really do.
Who told you?
Eddie. I told you, motherfucker. Charlie Murphy. Eddie Murphy.
I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah, Charlie Murphy died. Oscar? A couple years ago? I mean, Royce. I keep wanting to call you Oscar.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Rolls Royce, are you there?
I'm here, Bubba.
Google if you could, when Charlie Murphy died. I think it might have been 2 years ago.
Rolls Royce? Can you be any more fucking top 40 radio?
Fucking Rolls Royce. Car wash, motherfucker. Car wash. Remember Car Wash?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. 2017, by the way, 2017, and I need to find the interview of when he said that Barbara Walters. By the way, Barbara Walters was at Howard's wedding. Did you know that?
At least he would reveal something other than you, who won't even tell us what 89 fucking pop star gave you a hand job.
John, you know what, John, I'll DM you. Because I don't, right. I don't want to, I'm really afraid of getting sued nowadays. I've been sued like 5 times, and I'm 5-0, but it just really it drains your bank account right down to 0 when you get sued.
Yeah, but that's where my bank account is anyway.
Do you see yourself coming to Tampa at all? Like, have you booked any deal?
I did work at Side Splitters last time I was there.
And you know what? You probably did. The guy that stole and distributed my sex tape through Tony Burton, you probably did his show, Mike Calta.
I think, you know what? I did do his show.
Yes, you did. That used to be my show. He was my intern. But he was formerly he was my intern. He's the one that has all the comedians in town. Historically, I don't do, comedian interviews. It's like So Bob and Tomish. And so I knew that this wouldn't be that. This would be, more about what we've done so far, which, by the way, we're going on 2 hours, and I'm having a great time. I don't know about you.
No, yeah, of course, but I'm waiting for your DM. I have it open here.
Hey, I'm having a great time here with Stuttering John on the fucking phone. It's really peeling it back a notch. We found out that he got poop dick from a lawyer, power of attorney on the deal. And we found out that he got his asshole fucking fingered with a hemorrhoid deal in Cleveland, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
Hey, brother. DM me the chick that you get the hand job from.
I will, but John. Now, motherfucker, you like to tell a lot of fucking secrets publicly. So don't get on your podcast and be like, hey, for all you guys that wanted to know who Bubba fucking got a hand job from.
You have my word. I will not say her name.
Well, that didn't mean shit either. I'm just telling you, your word don't mean shit.
No, it does. I'll never say her name. I'll say what song she's famous for. I'll never say her name.
Motherfucker,
ever.
You can't. She only had one hit fucking song.
I'm only kidding. Bubba, what was the hook?
I'm not. The hook is the song, motherfucker. I ain't doing it, John, you idiot.
No,
that was fucking buffoon.
That was Rolls Royce, dumbass.
Are you still buying and selling houses? That's what your wiki said, that you buy and sell houses still.
I have done that since 19.
You did that in fucking Hoboken or wherever the fuck you live, did you not?
I bought over 10 to 12 houses, mostly all for profits. Now I'm doing it for other people on the side when I'm not doing this great show and when I'm not fucking getting stoned with Rolls Royce and Frankie B.
I love that. I wish I had the car wash. I would probably get a copyright infringement on YouTube, but I'll play the fucking Rolls Royce car wash.
But I promise I'll never say her name ever. And
but you're dying to know, are you not? You're absolutely fucking dying to know.
Yeah, because I'm an inquisitive person. I've always been this way, and that's why I was great at the interviews.
That goes back to what the second grade teacher says, that you were a fucking buffoon that was trying to cause trouble all the time.
Yes, no. You know what it was? It came from insecurity and curiosity. I asked girls if they had hair down here because I was bald as a fucking, Telly Savalas. There's an old reference. And I will, I could have said Yul Brynner, but I didn't have any hair. I know. But I will say, in sixth grade, Bubba, you'll appreciate this. All the boys in human sexuality, our dads were there. They were all afraid to ask questions. Me, I asked everything. How many holes does the girl have? Where is the G-spot? But, and...
If you put your dick in an ass, will you get poop joke? Will you get poop dick so that you can set up a lame joke back in 2019?
Yes. I was asking all those questions, and then all the boys started handing me their cards, and all the dads were laughing except my father, whose fucking head was in his hands, fucking going, oh, my fucking son is just fucking unbelievable.
Now, was your dad old school in the way that, the years that we grew up, dads would whip your ass back in the day, and I got my ass. I grew up in Indiana, and I got my
ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it was. You just got your ass kicked. That's just the way it was.
Yeah, but it was different. Like, he didn't beat you up for any rational reason. Like, he beat you up because you asked him to help you with your homework. I mean, there was no real.
Well, one time I wasn't painting fast enough. We were repainting the house, and I was like, fucking belly aching about it. And my dad just went to commence to kicking my ass. Well, I didn't ask about it ever again. That's the way shit went. So hold on. The last thing I want to talk about is the Secret Service thing. And if a lot of people don't know, is that you actually infiltrated and got a hold of Donald Trump. And we're acting like, I think it was a senator from New Jersey, Bob.
Yes, Senator Bob Menendez.
Yes, and you tricked everybody that you were Senator Bob Menendez, and you got Donald Trump on the phone when he was traveling on Air Force fucking One.
Yes,
you had like a 4-minute conversation with him, and it got distributed everywhere, and it's funny as fuck, and it was funny as fuck. But what happened afterwards?
Yeah, I got Jared Kushner and Trump. That I didn't even call them; they called me from Air Force One. That's how lame that they're. I'm stuttering on B's.
You're fucking freaking out right now, aren't you? Because you're worried about the boys kicking your door down right now.
No. Well, they already banged and were kicking on my door. I wasn't home. I was busy drinking with Royce at the pub, and we were all fucking celebrating. And then the next morning, my agent called me and said the Secret Service wants me to call, and I did. I asked them if they were going to arrest me. They said they can't tell me, so I hired Avenatti, the attorney, and then he got me out of everything.
So you hired him, and he made it go away. Did you ever have to talk to the Secret Service guys?
No. Well, I talked to him on the phone, but I never went to the interview because
I got handcuffed to a fucking desk in Tampa, Florida, by the Secret Service agents in 1997.
Why?
So, by the way, Mike Calta was my co-host, and I just got a new printer at my house. And I said, hey, Mike, his name was Cowhead. That's what we called him. I said, hey, Cowhead, look at this. And I showed him $4 bills, real dollar bills, like real ones. Yeah. And I go, look. Yeah. And I said, I got a whole bunch of more of these where this came from. Because I had I owned a nightclub at the time. So I had like $50 in ones from the pool table machine or some bullshit. And I insinuated, I just kind of like smart-ass zookeeper insinuated that I printed them off my new printer, right? But I never said it. I was just like, hey, printers are so good nowadays. And hey, have you seen these? Look at and like he was like, oh my God, those look so good. And I said, well, take these out and see if they work in the fucking chip machine, the snack machine. Well, of course they worked. And this is when radio was far more theatrical and, not visual at all. And you had to paint this bigger picture,
Yeah.
And so he went in and he was like, he took a little wireless mic out to into the cafeteria, and he put like 4 of these dollars that were real dollars into the machine. And it worked because they were real fucking dollars. And so the next thing you know, 20 minutes later, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Secret Service is not only in charge of protecting the president, but they're in charge of counterfeiting as well. Did you know that?
Yes. Well, I didn't, but I do know.
Yeah. So next thing you know, 15, 20 minutes later, they come into the studio just like the movies with their fucking glasses and their black, sport coats, and they turn the mics off and said, you go to this room and you go to that room. They separate us, and they start thinking that I, printed dollar bills out. So I'm like, I didn't. I was just doing a radio gig. They followed me to my house, took my fucking computer, took it down to the Secret Service headquarters, took me with it, put me inside this room, handcuffed me to a desk, and went through my entire hard drive to make sure that I wasn't counterfeiting, and then said, if we get an influx of more counterfeiting problems in Tampa, Florida for the next 2 weeks, we're going to consider it. People are taking it, they're copycatting off of what you did, and you'll be charged for it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
But nothing happened because they were real fucking dollars. But I got in more trouble for that than you did actually calling the goddamn president.
I know, because you know what? Because I found out, and my youngest son told me that. But the law is that you can't impersonate.
Is there an R in law?
No, but I'm from New York.
The law. LARW. Law.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So the law says what, Johnny?
The law.
Hey, by the way, fucking Rolls Royce like that when I got to pop out of that bitch.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, Frankie D liked it too, motherfucker. That was a good joke. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, what's up, Frankie fucking D? All right, so go ahead, John. What's the law?
The law is that you can't impersonate a politician for monetary gain. But the thing is, I didn't make any money off of it, so they really had.
Well, you were ready to, though, boy. You had to turn the money. You were ready to fucking distribute that 18 ways of Sunday, and you had to bring that right down to zero, didn't you, kid?
No, I didn't make a dime off of it. I already had my book deal in place, so I didn't make anything extra. So they really didn't have any charges.
Now, but hold on. But meanwhile, you actually have somewhat of a relationship with Donald for when you did the the cabbie deal. And so you've ridden on his helicopter, and you saw him backstage. So were you able to make contact with him after time? Like, hey, this is Stuttering John, Donald. I was just fucking around.
No, but he knows me. I've interviewed him in the past. I mean, he's got me hotel rooms for free. I mean, he's taken me out to lunch. In Atlantic City,
that might have had something to do with why they were so light on him, because he may have called up and said, listen, I know that fucking rascal, and so just kind of rough him up a little bit, but we'll let him go.
Yeah, that's why I think he was just like, it's Stuttering John being Stuttering John. It was, look, out of all the shit he has to worry about, that's the least of his worries.
That poor guy's going through fucking hell right now, is he not? I mean, he can't do anything. They're all just fucking with him.
Well, come on. I mean, I know people in Tampa probably all the right wingers, but
no, not at all. I'm right down the fucking middle. I could care less what the fuck's going on, to be honest with you. There's nobody. There's nobody in there that can make it any better. Hillary would have been worse than this guy.
No, but that's not it. But what he did now with the Ukrainian president is an impeachable offense, and that's it. End of story.
No, they'll never get him.
Well, I don't know, because now, and they have him on tape admitting that that he's done it. So
don't talk about me. Don't talk about me and being on tape. That's not good, buddy.
No, but I'm still waiting for your DM. I mean, I just wanted to have my reaction.
You want me to do it to you right now?
Yeah. So
okay,
I'm not
hold on.
say the name.
I swear to God, John, I will kick your fucking ass if you. I swear, I will come to L.A. and I will be that guy outside of your fucking deal, kicking your ass.
I will never ever do that to you.
All right, here we go. So here we go. Here we go.
Take me off a wide camera, Frankie B. Hold on
here.
All right, I'm here.
Hold on. Looking at you. I'm not real good at spelling. Okay, here we go. And let fucking Rolls Royce see it as well, but don't put it on camera, John. I swear to God, motherfucker. Here we go. I'm sending it to you right now.
All right.
You should. I DM'd it to you just now.
Okay. All right. You misspelled the name, but I got it. I saw it.
Hold on. You did. I thought you'd put it over a little more than that. I mean, come the fuck on, man. That's not too. It's pretty good, ain't it?
I think we're disappointed.
Fuck you, Rolls Royce, and you too, Frankie B. You motherfucker. Yeah, this is fucking Frankie B, and I never fucked around with anybody but rode John's coattails. Yeah, boy, yeah. Yeah, motherfucking yeah. I'm on the Coney Island Express this weekend, Frankie B. Yeah, the wheels of motherfucking steel. Yeah, boy.
Actually, Bubba, she is a pretty hot chick. I mean,
Now, John, I'm also sending you my cell phone number so that you and that fucking Rolls Royce and maybe even Frankie B, can have it.
Yeah. Hey, do you ever come out here?
Yeah, I was just out there in May. I was just out there in May. And
you should have fucking looked me up. I would have fucking taken you out to some good times out here.
Can I tell you how fucking lame I am? I got there. I stayed in Culver City. Which I hate. By the way, I hate L.A. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate L.A. more than anything in the world. I fucking hate it. Bunch of pretentious cocksuckers that live out there.
That's true. A lot of phony people, which is why I'm very close with Rolls Royce and Frankie B. They're
exactly.
Real.
They're real boys. Yeah, boy. And so, motherfucking Frankie B is real as it gets, straight from Jersey City, motherfucking yeah, boy.
Frankie B in the house.
Now we're in Jersey City. Next is Wildwood.
Yeah. No, Childwood. I was a radio guy in Philly. Hey, you want to hear, John? You want to hear the greatest story?
Hey, Stuttering John and Frankie B.
Stuttering John, our paths. Were you at the John DeBella funeral?
Yes.
All right. So this is 1990, and Howard is the #1 slinging dick in Philly, and I'm afternoon drive on Q102 WIOQ in Philly, and I was only there for a minute. And Howard was such a, it was such a big deal when he beat DeBella, and they had that funeral down in the courtyard, remember?
Yep, I was there.
And Jessica Hahn was there, and Howard did this little pre-interview thing, like you had to go up these, like in the some kind of hallway, and it had big wood floors and stuff, right?
Yep.
So I was a radio personality for Easy Communications, did afternoon drive on Q102, the top 40 station. Not even a talk station, nothing like that. And my program director, Mark Driscoll, said, Bubba, because I was afternoon drive, you're going to take the Q102 van and go to the Howard Stern funeral and do live call-ins to our morning show on the Howard funeral. So I went there, and when Howard did his press conference before, remember he had that little press conference in that? I was there, and I was so with my little Q102 mic flag and shit, and I was so afraid to ask I didn't ask any questions or nothing. But I was there reporting live for our fucking radio station.
Holy shit! And you didn't ask a question?
I didn't ask one. I was locked the fuck up. I didn't know what to do. I was just playing Debbie Deb Lookout Weekend for fucking, I was playing 8 records an hour. I was being Frankie B, fucking going down the child. Yeah, boy, the new Q102 here in Bala Kenwood down the Schuylkill Hill. Yeah, motherfucker, yeah. Will Smith is coming up next in summertime on Q102. Yeah, boy.
Did you meet me at all?
No, I didn't. I didn't meet anybody. I was like, like 2 rows behind the press, and I was just fucking like, oh my god, that's Howard Stern. There's there's John, and there's Robin, and there's Jessica Hahn, and I think Smokin' Joe Frazier was there.
Yeah.
Was it Smokin' Joe?
Yeah.
And they did the funeral right underneath John DeBella's window of his studio. Did they not? Did they not?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
So that
I was there. I mean, and that's the infamous time that I jumped into the bathtub with Howard, Jackie, and Jessica Hahn, and I allegedly turned all the water black.
Because you're, you know why? Because you fuck girls in the asses, and that poop was coming off your dick.
Hey!
I got power of attorney one time in Philly too. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, fucking him from coast to coast in the ass. Yeah, boy.
And that's where in the bus ride home, I put a pair of Jessica Hahn's lingerie in Jackie the Joke Man's suitcase, unbeknownst to him, and hoping that Nancy, his wife, would find it and go ballistic. And then Jackie found it like moments before his wife came in the room and ran in the backyard and fucking buried it.
like a bone.
And then the next morning is the infamous Jackie the Joke Man apology on the Stern Show. Bubba, I don't know if you know this, but he goes, I just want to apologize to my wife, Nancy. I was wrong and stupid. And Howard, please don't make a mockery of this. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I do. I do remember it.
Have you? Let me ask you. Have you ever had any chance to meet with Jackie or hang out with Jackie?
No, when we were up at Sirius, working with Howard, Jackie was still doing some like weekend stuff, and I met Jackie a few times, but never really hung out. I think I interviewed him once or twice within the Howard world.
Well, good, because, you're a lucky man. You haven't had to fucking deal with Jackie, dude. You don't want to.
Yeah, Jackie's he's a real nut hunter. He really is. He's always fucking doing some kind of slapstick bullshit. I think one of the reasons why me and Jackie, I haven't done a lot of shit with Jackie is because I don't like the cheese dick shit,
No, I know.
Like you and I, we're keeping it real, and I mean we've only gone actually poop dick a few times, but
yeah.
But for the most part we bust ball. I don't know if Jackie can bust balls like we do necessarily.
No, he can't take it, man.
Yeah, like if I was fucking with Jackie, he would be not real happy about it.
Well, but that's the thing. Jackie can dish it out and can't take it, much like Howard. Howard can't take it either. You have to know that.
Stuttering John, would you stop the fucking shit?
I knew.
Anytime you can get a little something in on my boy there, you always fucking do, Johnny.
I wanted to see if I could get you to.
You're not gonna flap me, buddy. You're not. I'm drinking a Howard Kool-Aid. I'm still hopelessly romantically Olivia Newton-John looking for Bowser and the T-Birds. Still looking for him, buddy.
All right, listen, Bubba. I think it's time we got to go.
I do too. And listen, man, John, two things. One, when you come to Tampa, give me plenty of heads up and come on the show. Don't do the fucking Countess show now that you know the whole deal and about it. And
no.
And and you know what? Let's keep in touch, buddy. Seriously.
Yeah, no. You definitely. And I did want to ask you. So, have you ran into Calta ever since all this?
No. I mean, there's no. I haven't. It goes to trial in a year. Hogan suing him and Buchwald and Tony Burton and Cox Communications and all that kind of shit. And it's going to be interesting to see how all this works out. Hogan's going to probably get another $100 million on it. He's suing Cox for $110 million.
Wow. And if you see Calta, like let's say like you're at a grocery store and you run into him, will you kick his ass or
no.
will you just like?
No, I wouldn't kick his ass because one, he's a big motherfucker. Two, I'm 53 years old. Who's kicking anybody's ass nowadays? Really? I mean,
I don't know.
I could probably still kick some ass, but I'm still, I'm kind of fatter. I'm a little bit less in shape, but I would want to kick his ass, and I think I could kick his ass. But what the fuck's that going to prove?
No, I know. I don't know. Because like me, I have that bad temper. Like if it was somebody who fucked me over the way he fucked you over, I think I would lose it and then fucking start wailing cans of peas at him.
You're still mad. You're still mad about that fucking power of attorney poop dick you got back in '86, which you're still mad about, buddy.
Hey, power of attorney.
Hey, from now on for the rest of my life, because sometimes in some of the legal wranglings that I come up with, the word power of attorney comes up from time to time, and I'm totally got every time I hear power of attorney, I'm just going to think about you fucking a girl in the ass in Seabiscuit, New Jersey. That's all I'm going to think. Hey,
all right, my man.
Nice to meet you and Rolls Royce and Frankie B and John. I had a really I don't go 2 hours on anybody, and I had a really good time talking to you, my friend.
We had a great time, man. I couldn't imagine it going any better. And I hope you get to LA soon. I'll probably be in Tampa before that. I have some friends out there. Actually, it was Dayton. I mean, I banged this chick quite a number of times. She flew out from Tampa and met me in Vegas.
Oh, Tampa girls are fucking loose. It's Trampa. I mean, Tampa girls are fucking loose, and they're hot. I mean, I love Tampa.
Hold on. Come on, zookeeping music for that. Come on, do
the Trampa. Hey, let me tell you something here. Have you heard about the girls in Tampa? They call girls Trampa. Hey, Frankie B on the fucking wheels of steel here at Coney Island. Hey, John, good talking to you guys, man. All right, man?
I'll see you.
Bye, guys. Oh, God, dang, like a couple of little bitches. Huh? Was that good? Was it bad? Did you like it? Not? Oh, Blitz is probably mad as fuck. I think Blitz is ready to cut me off at a moment's notice. He's worried about his dog leaving him some fucking turds when he gets home. Poor Colt hadn't been out for 12 hours. Blitz, cut me off, kiddo. I appreciate it. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody. And go share this, like it, thumb it, fist it, fuck it, whatever. Let's get it out. I think it was pretty good. I'll see you tomorrow.